Imagine being a rich kid, having all the money in the world to spend, and you are having the most beautiful girls around you every time, ready to do anything you want with them. But suddenly, you are bankrupt without any reason, and now everyone who you called friend had left you, along with the love of your life who became a gold digger and had left you for a crippled old man who cannot even wake his little guy up. But everything changes the day you got a system, which quadruples your money whenever you spend it on any girl you want. You decide to have relations with your girlfriend and her friend too. And if this was not enough, even your teacher or the sales girl you always wanted to have was also within your reach. You plan on having all the beauties for yourself and have fun with them every day. The story begins with Shen, who was traveling inside a luxury sports car. And as he got to the college, multiple people started clicking photos of him along with his car, because he was the campus's richest kid and had just purchased another supercar because he had his eyes on it. From the other side of the car came a beauty, and all the other students were shocked to see that just in his freshman year, Shen had got the ultimate senior from the sophomore flight attendant class for himself, and that beautiful lady was his girlfriend. Some of the students knew that Shen was a rich second-generation kid, and he was also handsome to top it off. And it was natural that he was getting all the priority in dating after having all this money, but now their preferential treatment was almost monopolized, and a lot of freshman goddesses were already head over heels for Shen because of his money and looks. A few more ladies were trying to criticize Zhao Ting, who was Shen's current girlfriend, thinking among themselves that her figure was not as good as them, but just because they had hesitated a little and ended up too late. Ting was the one who got the boy and his money while the girls kept on looking at him from far away. But as Shen heard everyone, he turned around and looked at those petty girls and started going inside the class along with his beautiful girlfriend. But just then, Shen woke up and realized that it was the dream of the past that he was having, because his once extravagant and high-class lifestyle had came to a halt in his junior years due to a financial disaster. His family's 3 travel agencies had gotten bankrupt, and he also ended up with a lot of external debt. Shen had to leave his home and get to the common college dorms to survive. He woke up and got out of his room and asked some of his roommates if they were going to the internet cafe for some gaming with him. But the boys were completely ignoring Shen, asking him if he still thought that he was still the rich kid from before to have the money to go to gaming cafes and parlors. All the former playboys from Shen's life have drifted away, avoiding him at all costs, thinking that Shen would ask them for some money and nothing can be done in this situation. The scene shifts to another day and we see that just after a few days after Shen became bankrupt, his girlfriend Ting contacted him and told him to not have any relation with her anymore and find another girl if he can. This made the boy go deep in shock because his 3 years of love life was just falling apart after he became broke. He wanted to know if Ting was really such a desperate gold digger and a heartless human being. But the lady was talking back to him, telling him that he was also not some love warrior and he always had eyes on more beautiful girls when he had the money. But only Shen knew how much he loved the girl, and now she had broke up with him. Ting wanted the boy to stop calling her Ting because it was really sounding so tacky. The girl warned Shen that even if they run into each other in the future, they would have to act like they have never even seen each other before and don't know who they are. The girl started going towards another luxury car and Shen just smiled, realizing the pathetic condition he was in, and told the girl to wait. Ting wondered if Shen had wanted something from her for the last time, and the boy just smiled, asking her to give him back all those designer and costly bags that he had brought for her in the past 3 years. Because if the lady was really disgusted by him, then she should not use the gifts given by him either. But as soon as the lady got the Uno reverse, she was completely angry and flustered, telling Shen to have some pride because she had spent 3 years with him, and he had got her a few crappy bags. So now he had no right to get them back after breaking up. Shen realized that Ting was just a gold digger who was there with him for years because he had a lot of money. Shen also became shameless, realizing that the girl had no regard for his love, telling her that if she was after money, then he can pay her for one last time, and they can have some fun in the hotel like before. We see that from the luxury car, a middle-aged man peeked out, asking Ting to get in the car and not get angry. Shen realized that this middle-aged man was also someone who was kind of rich, and the man asked him if he wanted a ride home. Shen was shocked, realizing that when he called the gold digger as Ting, she was finding it tacky. But when the man was calling out the same nickname, it was okay with her. Shen denied the offer of the man, telling him that his place was close by. But the man insisted, telling him that he was thinking that he should at least let Shen go to his home safely after getting his girl. Shen was getting really annoyed and had known from the start that the man was trying to provoke him. But he leaned down onto the car window, telling the man that instead of leaving him to his house, the man should take care of Ting instead. The man thought that Shen was giving up, telling him that he should leave the lady to him. But Shen told the old man that Ting was only preferring to use high-quality rooms before having some late-night fun, and she does not like stockings because they got in the way. Realizing about what Shen was telling him, the man was almost having a heart attack as he put his legs onto the accelerator and drove away with insane speeds. Shen just smiled, looking at the car and telling them that he was just getting to the good point. At first, he was angry at the girl, but knowing the reality that she was really a gold digger, he thought that it was none of his business anymore. He just wished that the girl will have the serene and rich life that she desired. But suddenly, a notification popped up, telling Shen that everyone should strive to live out their own perfect life. So the perfect life system was starting to load for Shen, and the host of the system was he himself, with the wealth of only 87 yuan. Shen wondered if being too much under the sun was making him have some hallucinations, and he started sweating profusely. But suddenly, another system notification popped up, telling Shen that as a perfect life requires not only money, but also the admiration for the opposite gender. His first task was to spend on an appropriate partner with favorability over 60 points and win her favor. By completing this task, Shen would receive the refund of 3 times the expenses which he would do on the partner, and if the female's favorability increases by 3 more points during the spending, an additional double refund will also apply. Shen was really thinking that he had gone mad after losing the love of his life, shaking his head violently and telling the hallucinations to go away. But he did not notice that a middle-aged lady was calling out to him again and again. We come to know that it was teacher Li who told Shen that a male student should carry himself like a proper male and should not sulk over a normal breakup, because these things happen a lot in the college life. According to the lady, he should just say bye to Ting and tell her that she will find someone even better. But Shen was not looking at the teacher at all. His eyes were completely somewhere else. I know that you all are looking at them too. Yes, exactly. The teacher had a small heart popping over her head, and the system told Shen that she was having 65 favorability points. Shen was shocked by looking at the small number over her head, and finally, he knew that he was not hallucinating at all, because the teacher had already snapped him out. He was sure that the perfect life system truly exists, and that his life is going to change. The teacher smiled and told Shen to cheer up, and the boy just nervously scratched his head, telling her that he was fine. But deep inside, he thought that somehow he was using some kind of a hack. Li asked Shen about the scholarship that she had mentioned last time, because the teacher wanted the student to get his documents as soon as possible, so that he can get financial help in continuing his degree. Shen immediately denied, telling the lady that money in a few thousands were nothing compared to the family's debts he was in. So she should give the scholarship to someone who really needs it and does not have the money to begin with. Even when the lady tried to persuade Shannon to taking it, he denied, and she stopped asking for it. The lady just smiled once again, telling Shen that if he ever had any troubles, he should come and see her, and he can even discuss love problems with her. She promised that she would listen, and finally turned around as she started heading back to the classes, telling Shen that if he needed anything, he should just let her know. but Shen was not really paying any attention to her while looking at the system window and realizing that the teacher was the perfect guinea pig for the system's task. He wanted to know if these tasks really gave triple cash back on any spending on a favorable partner, so he grabbed the lady's hand and started thanking her for caring about him so much. He wanted the lady to wait a minute so that he can go and get a cup of tea for her. Even when the lady denied a few times, Shen insisted and grabbed a chilled cold coffee can from the nearby vending machine. Shen did all the calculations, and we come to know that originally he had the balance of 87 yuan and the tea costed him 6 yuan, and for that he had received 8 yuan as a deposit. So the triple cashback was really a reality, and the system was working perfectly fine. Shen realized that as long as teacher's favorability towards him stays above 60, he can keep spending on her and continuously get system cashbacks for getting even richer. Shen realized that he could eventually clear the family debt, and if the money was managed well, then his family will become even richer than before. He knew that he can actually have a lot of money and surpass his former self. But right now, it was a long shot, because his capital was only 99 yuan, and the immediate priority for him was to gather enough capital and find the right girls to spend on. After the class was finished, Shen was sitting on these stairs while calling multiple loan givers, and after the loan approval was done, Shen was having almost 50,000 in his account. The boy just smiled after getting the initial capital, and he started working on a plan so that he can triple that money. He knew that the teacher would find it suspicious if all of a sudden a bankrupt family's son would give her expensive gifts, so he had to think it through. Just 1 hour later, we see that Shen had brought a bag worth 40,000, and it was a special edition. But Shen planned to tell the teacher that the bag was just a high-quality duplicate, and then only the teacher would accept it. Reaching the address of the teacher's house, Shen wondered if she had a boyfriend and tapped onto the door after 2 or 3 knocks. The lady opened a door, and we see that she was in a beautiful-looking apron, which was really highlighting her features. The teacher was shocked to see that Shen was there and asked him if he needed something. The boy realized that he had disturbed the teacher while she was cooking and immediately took out the luxury bag, pushing it towards her and telling her that as she had taken care of him so much during the last 3 years of college, he had got the bag for her as a return gift. Shen started buttering the lady, telling her that he had finally realized about how precious and heartwarming the gesture of the teacher was, and he wanted the lady to accept the student's gratitude. The lady was deeply shocked, realizing that if the bag was the original copy, it would have been way more expensive than her salary. She kept denying the gift, telling Shen that she was his teacher and it was her duty to look after her students. Shen realized that the lady was hesitating and immediately played his trump card, telling the lady that it was just a high-quality fake product, worth only about 200. He asked the lady if she thinks that a poor boy can afford to buy such an expensive bag right now. But since the lady had cared about him so much, he still wanted to do something and brought the fake bag instead. After so much blabbering, the teacher finally accepted the bag, telling Shen that she will give something back as a return gift because she was feeling bad from just being on the receiving end. The lady called Shen inside and ran towards the kitchen, realizing that her food was getting burned. She peeked from the kitchen walls, asking if he had eaten yet, but Shen was thinking that if he got closer to the lady, then he would trigger more cashbacks. But that meant offending her boyfriend. Suddenly, a message came onto his smartphone from the bank, telling him that over 100,000 were credited into his bank. After all the deductions and cost, Shen had actually earned a whole 80,000, and even when he had spent way more money before, earning something substantial for the first time felt different, and he was feeling really victorious. The teacher came closer to Shen once again, telling him to snap out of it and sit down to eat the tasty food she had made. Grabbing the opportunity, Shen asked the lady if her boyfriend would be joining them soon, but the lady was a bit saddened, telling the student that she did not have a boyfriend. Suddenly, she was finding it difficult to untie the apron and called out to Shen for a bit of a help, and the boy immediately crept closer, tracing the curves of the lady and undoing the apron slowly. But this whole enjoying deed was soon over, as a lady in a red coat and a huge bag entered the room, asking Shen about who he was and what he was doing to her sister. We come to know that the lady was named Meng, and the teacher was really happy by looking at her sister, asking her about why she was so late, and telling her that she should also come and eat. The teacher ran towards the lady telling Chen that she was her sister, and Shen nervously waved at her. Realizing that the situation was getting tense, Shen thought that he should get away from the place as soon as possible, so he told the teacher that he already ate before coming to her house and that he was heading back to school. The teacher was shocked by this behavior, remembering that Shen was already at the table when she called out to him, but she didn't know about why the boy was hesitating so much. Meng started telling the lady that Shen had got some really bad intentions, but Li just calmed her down, telling her that Shen was just her student. But for Meng, thinking that a student was actually hitting on his teacher was even more treacherous and shameless. Hearing that the lady started blushing, telling her sister to stop talking nonsense and just eat. As the scene shifts, we see Shen was in deep thought because he realized that he cannot keep on flirting with the teacher because she was still a teacher in his college and things can get real messy. On the other hand, she was also not some kind of gold digger like Ting, who would always demand for expensive gifts. Deep in thought, Shen bumped with someone else, and as he turned around, he saw that the man was his friend named Huang. The boy wondered about what has gotten inside his friend as he saw that the face of the boy was completely pale. Huang started telling Shen that the goddess of his heart, Min, was spotted watching a movie with the newly admitted playboy, and Huang was not ready to believe in it, because Min was the class beauty from international trade, and she was also the long one-sided crush of Shen's roommate, but the man was just her silent admirer. Shen just laughed at the situation, and Huang wondered if his friend was making fun of him. But as both of them turned around, they saw Min, who was coming back to the college, and Huang realized that she did not go to any hotel with the playboy. But Shen was looking at something else. Yes, you thought the right thing. The lady was also having the favor points above her heads, and the number told Shen that it was a whopping 72 points. Shen was shocked to see someone with even higher stats than the teacher and wondered about what he should do. Min was drinking cold coffee while walking with her friend, as she told the girl that Shen got dumped by his gold digger girlfriend. Min turned towards him and looked at Shen because she had got a long-time crush on him, but he never cared about it before. During the opening military training, the girl tried to approach him and even gave him free drinks, but Shen did not give a proper response. The friend was trying to fan the flames, telling her that rich kids are always arrogant, so when he got bankrupt, the girl broke up with him. And it's a good thing that Min was not dating him, otherwise her 3 years of youth would have been wasted. Shen turned around and was looking at Min, realizing that he could generate benefits from her, but he wondered about why her favorability value was dropping so fast. He immediately grabbed his friend and asked him if he should get together with Min and if he would mind. The man was not able to believe that his friend was going to hit on his crush, but he still thought that he was going to get rejected because Shen was not rich anymore. But after thinking about it a little, he realized that he would not mind Shen and Min dating at all, because he was just a silent admirer, and he would not care which guy she was with until Min was happy, as long as it was not the playboy. Shen got the green signal and immediately started running towards the girl, calling her out and making her really surprised. The friend immediately got in front of Min asking Shen about what he wanted, and Shen just smiled, casually asking Min if she was free the next day, because he had reserved a spot at the luxurious club banquet, and he wanted the lady to come with him. Min was shocked, but her friend thought that the boy was just shooting arrows blindly because he did not have any money. Shen ignored the bitchy friend and smiled at Min, telling her that after dinner he wanted her to come with him because he wanted help to pick out a birthday gift for his sister. He told her that if she was free, she should let him know by the next day's afternoon. After telling Min that much, Shen turned around and started walking away, and the lady started wondering if she should go with her or not. The friend was really awestruck, telling her that the table was booked at a top-notch Japanese cuisine restaurant, and Shen was a bit cocky, but still he was very handsome, and if his family showed even a little more success, then he would easily become rich once again. So Min would really consider going with him if he was the one asking. The scene shifts to the next day, and it was the early evening, where we see that Min had come together with Shen onto the restaurant, and the waiter came over the fancy table where the waitress brought their meal. Min sat down elegantly while she asked Shen if it was okay for him to waste money like this on someone like her when his family was facing financial difficulties. But Shen told the girl that it was no problem, and the food was unbeatable in taste. As the boy checked out Min, he realized that the lady was really beautiful, and he told his inner and bottom self to calm down because they were still on their first meet. Shen's train of thoughts was completely over-railed when Min asked him about why he suddenly invited her to dinner, and if it was really just for helping him in picking out a gift. Shen blushed and told the lady that he had always wanted to have dinner with her, but just hadn't found the right moment until now. But hearing that, the lady's favorability towards Shen started dropping, and the boy wondered if she was not satisfied with this answer. Realizing that it was bad, and the points were going below 60, so Shen remembered the flashback and told the lady that he had always appreciated that she had brought drinks for him during his military training, and stayed up chatting late at night and listened to him. This made the lady blush while the favor points started going up. She was not able to believe that Shen still remembered, and the boy started buttering her up, telling her that he had never forgotten how much Min cared about him. But telling her so many personal things were making Shen blush too. 40 minutes later, Shen got to the receptionist for paying the bill, and the amount came to 2,774. Realizing that Shen has spent this much, Min was shocked because even her monthly allowance was only 3,000. But she did not know that Shen was going to get triple cash back for each and every penny he had spent on her. But suddenly Shen came to know that his tripled amount was also doubled because the favorability points of Min had increased by over 3 points. Shen was shocked because just by spending approximately 3,000, he had already earned over 10,000. Meanwhile, the girl started blushing as Shen was looking at her because the more she was looking at the boy, the more appealing he was becoming. At first, she thought that maybe it was the power of money, but deep inside, she knew that it was something else too. She grabbed the hands of our boy playfully and told him that they still needed to go to the store to pick out the gift, and they started walking together. After a while, Shen noticed that Ting and the middle-aged man was also shopping on the same place where they were going. The gold digger also noticed her ex, wondering about why Shen was not sulking and had already got a new partner when she just broke up with him yesterday. The man was not able to believe that Shen was ready to spend money when he was bankrupt, and he even dared to come to an expensive shop. The man got a flashback, realizing that he got to have a fun time with the gold digger, but it was only after him having to buy a bunch of bags to sweet-talk the greedy lady into being with him and to enjoy the night. But on the other hand, Shen was deeply indebted, but still, he manages to have another pretty girl just after the day of a breakup. Shen calmly turned towards Min, telling her that they should go and check some other stores first. But realizing that they were going, the man thought that maybe they were just window shopping, and he started abusing the boy, telling him to come over to the store since he was already near it because the shop did not charge a single penny for just looking around. At first, Shen did not even look at the gold digger, and when Min pointed out, he asked the girl about who she was, just like how her ex wanted him to pretend. But looking at that, the middle-aged man was not stopping as he told Shen that he should be buying gifts for his sister at a wholesale market because he cannot even afford it. Not able to see her ex happy, the gold digger came towards Min, telling her that she should not be fooled by a pretending rich guy because in reality, he was completely poor. But the boy immediately stepped up, standing in front of Min and telling the gold digger lady to just mind her own business. But the new BF was suddenly furious, asking Shen to not say it because he cannot afford the place, as his family was bankrupt, and there was no need for him to pretend to be rich. Shen was really disgusted by the pair, but suddenly a notification popped up, and Shen started smiling. He was informed that whenever any type of negative emotion was caused to other by the host due to the expenses he made on her partner, it would also be measured. And if the negative emotion would be greater than 5 points, then the cash back amount will be doubled, and the task can also be stacked up with the triple cashback. This was a great opportunity for Shen to earn some insane amount of money, and even when Shen did not want to embarrass his ex, but now he had a reason to do so, and as it was them who had first targeted him, it was completely justified. Shen grabbed the hands of Min and told her that they were going to the same store for shopping. But as soon as he entered the shop, the receptionists were not ready to greet him because Shen family was publicly known to have been bankrupt. Both the receptionists were actually fighting with each other for the one who would go and greet the poor boy. And on the other hand, the gold digger was looting the man, picking up a really expensive bag and telling him that she had wanted it. One of the receptionists immediately ran away, grabbing this opportunity, and the other wondered if she should go and greet Shen. The staff started buttering the gold digger, telling her that she had an excellent taste and that the purse was matching her aura perfectly, unlike some other customers. But this buttering was all for upselling their antique dolls, which were on sale for the price of an extra 100,000. Both the man and Ting looked at the antique pieces, but Shen, on the other hand, told Min that she does not have to worry about money at all, and tell him whatever she liked. Min pointed at a handbag, telling the boy that it had a youthful style and that his sister would like it. But suddenly, we see that the receptionist has come near Shen, telling them that the bag was costing over 50,000 and it was really expensive for them. But as the scene shifts back, we see that the middle-aged man was actually in a fix because he did not have any money, and now the gold digger wanted the set, which would cost him more than 100,000. The greedy lady leaned down onto his so-called new boyfriend, telling him to show the power of money to her ex and be a better boyfriend. But the man already knew her tactics and realized that she was just looting him. But suddenly, everyone was shocked when Shen told the receptionist that he was going to take both the expensive bags along with the antique pieces that the other staff has recommended. Both Ting and the man was shocked, and the receptionist, who was making fun of the boy, wondered if Shen was actually broke or not. But the boy made her snap out of it, and the staff calculated that the total price of all the things, which was coming to 131,000. Shen had calculated the money too, and had already known that after the dinner cash back, he was having that much money, so it was no problem buying it. The boy just smiled, giving the receptionist his card and telling her to finalize the shopping. After looking at the card, the receptionist was crying from the inside, because at first she thought that Shen was not going to buy anything, but now he was the wealthiest customer in the whole store. She was not able to believe that Shen has become even more generous and extravagant after being broke. But this much humiliation was not at all acceptable by the gold digger as she turned towards Shen and asked him if he was telling a lie and had took out a loan or something, because his complete family was already bankrupt. But Shen just smirked at the lady and the middle-aged man, giving them the liberty to say anything they liked, because according to him, if the lady had that much problem with him spending his own money, then she should buy another bag from the money of her new boyfriend, because it was only 20,000, and according to the new boyfriend, it was nothing but pocket change for him, and the car he was using was at least 600 or 700,000, and in front of that, just a few thousands would not even matter. The gold digger immediately turned towards the man, telling him to show him the power of money he had. But only the man knew that he had brought everything on loan, and even the purses he was giving the gold digger was from the loan money. He immediately started ignoring the gold digger, telling her that he had an important call to take, and then he started going away, while the lady also just turned towards her ex with disgust and acted like she does not even care. But Shan was able to look at her negative points and already realized that she cared too much to forgive him. But Shen did not want to argue with them any further, because the task was already completed. After everything was done, Shen called out to Min, telling him to take the purses and all the goodies, because it was brought by him for her. The lady immediately denied, telling him that it was too expensive. But as Shen was feeling bad for her being mocked due to him, he told Min that she should consider it his apology and accept the bag. The lady was ready to take one of the bags, but Shen handed over all the things he had brought to her. Min was shocked, asking Shen about why he was giving his sister's gift to her instead. Hearing that, Shen just smiled calmly while telling her that he does not even know if the sibling would like it. But after looking at Min, he was sure that the lady liked it for sure, and that is why he was going to give everything to her instead. But deep inside, he knew that everything he said was a lie, and all the purchasing was done for her from the start due to the tasks, so he just wanted her to accept everything so that his money can be tripled. On the other hand, Min thought that if she would accept the full set, then Shen would think of her as a gold digger and denied once again. But the boy calmly held the hands of the lady, telling her that if she refused, the boy would be heartbroken. This line worked like a charm, and the system congratulated him for completing the time task. The task has accrued a total of 15 points of negative value, which will triple the amount spent, and as the money was already doubled after spending on Min, the total multiplier amounted to 6 times, and the phone notified him that his current balance was almost 800,000. Shen just smiled at Min while he realized that she was now his money tree and he will have to take good care of her. And the incident earlier where her favorability dropped must never happen again. Shen grabbed the hands of the lady even more tightly while telling her that she should head back to school because it was really getting late. Even though he really wanted to have some fun with the lady, he knew that the things should not be rushed, and it's better if they happen naturally. And on the other hand, this unique act by the boy left the girl startled because she knew that he was different from her previous date, and he did not mention going to a hotel or anything. Otherwise, she would have really left him. It was the next day, and their playboy, who previously dated Min, was going around with his gang while they were praising him non-stop, telling him that he had won over the class beauty while the rest of them were still single. The playboy immediately raised his voice once again, and we come to know that his name was Peng, and now that he was passing over Shen, he wanted to make fun of him, and everyone in his group started shouting that he had won over the class beauty for himself. But Shen just smiled by thinking about how wrong the man actually was. As soon as Shen entered his dorm room, one of his roommates annoyingly asked him if he also saw the playboy who was practically announcing in the whole university that he had gone to a movie with the class beauty. But Shen told the boy that he was not going to do it for more than 1 or 2 days because Min was not going to end up with him. But the roommate did not know the reality and thought that Shen was just making a speculation, telling him that no one knows about what had happened the last night between them. Shen ignored his roommate and started looking at his bank balance, realizing that as he was suddenly having a lot of cash, he should go to his home the next day and take a look at how his parents were. As the scene shifts, we come to Shen's home, where one of his uncles from his father's side has come to meet his family. Shen was shocked to see him while his father told him that the adults were talking, so he should go into the room first and wait until it was over. Shen agreed, but as he started going up the stairs, he heard that his father was begging his brother to give him a little more time so that he can sell another batch of goods and repay the portion of his debt. But the brother was acting all high and mighty, telling Shen's father that partial payment was not enough, and he will be needing full repayment within the next 2 days. Hearing that, Shen's mother was furious, telling the man that he was not doing a good thing to his brother because just a few years back when he had no money to start his own business, it was Shen's father who had lent him more than 300,000, and he did not even return it till now. And now that the father has borrowed only 200,000 from him, he was hounding the whole family repeatedly. Shen's father was not ready to listen to Test much. telling his wife to stop because he thought that his little brother was having his own difficulties. But the lady did not stop for a moment, fighting for his husband and telling everyone that she had already called the man's wife, and she had told her that the younger brother was not having any obligations of paying anyone for the next 2 days, and he was just doing it to get his money back. Realizing that he was getting exposed, the brother started acting all shameless, telling Shen's father that paying back debts was only a natural process, and luckily they were relatives, so they can settle things calmly. But if they were outsiders, then the man would get a real taste of how a debt collection is done. The wife realized about what the young brother had to say and was not able to believe that he was willing to resort to violent measures, telling him that he was just being an ungrateful prick who was not considering any kindness which was shown to him by his big brother for all these years. The man stopped his wife, asking her if there was still some pieces of gold jewelry left with her so that they can sell them and clear off the family debts. Shen had heard each and every word of the conversation, and suddenly a notification popped up, telling Shen that a perfect life should not bear any debts, and due to that, Shen will have to repay the text of his family by himself, and for repaying all the debts, the system will reward Shen with 1 million exclusive car spending credits in his bank, and he will have to repay only 200,000. Shen started smiling, realizing that the task was really easy for him. But he knew that even if the system had not compelled him to do so, he was planning to help his dad light and his burden today. On the other hand, both the parents were looking at the jewelry they had, as Shen's mother told his father that she could not bear to sell the jewelry, and even when they were worth 10,000s, she was hiding it in case of any emergency. But now it seems like all her savings would be gone. Shen started having a flashback about how in the freshman year he sneaked into his mom's room and stole the gold rings she had so that he can get enough money to play around. But now, he knew that he was not that unfaithful kid like how he was back then. Shen wanted to knock on the door, but now he pushed in without any prior notice and told his parents that he had got a lot of money at first. The parents thought that maybe Shen was hallucinating and told him that it was no time for jokes, and if he had got money, then he should go and eat something in the cafeteria and not mess around. But Shen blushed while he told his dad that he really had money in his account and he had already transferred it to his dad's account. Looking at his phone, the man was not able to believe that he was suddenly having 200,000 in his bank, wanting to know about how his son has got so much money. Shen started making everything up, telling his father that the pocket money he had previously, when they were not broke, was pretty generous. So he invested it in some coins with a friend, and in the past few days, he had cashed it in to have money for clearing of the debt. Shen's mother was proud of him, thanking him again and again for helping them in their hour of need. Finally, the man knew that they can pay off the debts first and send the brother away. And as he immediately transferred all the money, he started scolding his younger brother, telling him to get out of the house after getting the money, because their family should not keep in touch after he showed his true colors. The lady was getting even angrier, telling the younger brother that she will always remember how he had treated them in their dire situation. And even when the man was shocked, he knew that he will have to get out of the house, otherwise, he would get really badly humiliated. As the man started walking onto the streets, he was not able to believe that the family which was in debt from head to toe was able to repay the full amount owed to them so quickly. He wondered if Shen's father had made money from a new business and was about to get rich once again. But knowing that he cannot figure it out, he started going away, wondering if what he saw was actually true. On the other hand, multiple notifications popped up, telling Shen that his card has received 400,000 for clearing of the debt, and an additional 1 million was also debited onto his account, making his current balance over a whopping 2 million. Shen knew that he should exclude the car exclusive shopping credits because they cannot be used anywhere else, but still, his net worth has already exceeded over 1 billion, and he never expected that a trip home would not only help his parents, but also yield such a huge gain. But for Shen, this was still not enough. And even if he gave all this to his father, the debt would not be cleared. So he decided to keep the money as capital and generate even more with it. Shen realized that he should give his dad another 200,000 in case of an emergency because he had some spare change. Shen got to his parents and asked them if they needed another 200,000. But his mother immediately denied, telling him to save the money for now. But when he came to his father, the man blushed and asked his son if he can give him only 50,000. Shen smiled, knowing that it was difficult for his dad to ask money from his son. But he immediately transferred the money and got back to the college. As Shen was walking the corridors of the college, he saw that the teacher was back to school, but she did not have any classes this afternoon. Shen smiled, asking the lady if she was free tonight because he would like to treat her to a meal for returning the favor of treating him the last time. But just then, Shen noticed two cat-like eyes from behind the lady, and it was the little sister Meng. Shen already knew that the teacher's sister was like his nemesis, and he cannot afford to mess with her. Both the ladies were looking flawless, but Shen immediately started running away, telling his teacher that he had some things to take care of at school, and he might not be free tonight, so they can talk about the favor some other time. Looking at that, Meng told her sister once again that the kid was having some ulterior motives, but the lady was not ready to listen to her, telling her that it was just a meal, and if Shen really had some other intentions, she would not agree to it, no matter what. As the scene shifts, you will see that Shen was sweating while he worked in the harsh sun, realizing that when he had the sports car, it was really comfortable and refreshing, and as he happened to have a special find for a car shopping credits right now, he was planning to buy one for himself because he cannot use the money anywhere. Shen took out the phone and texted Min, asking her if she was free this afternoon for going out with him. Min replied that she was free and had no classes, but suddenly, the scene shifts to the girls' dorm room, where one of Min's friends started smiling after looking at her phone, realizing that as Shen and her were picking a car together, this was going to be a huge progress. But Min just started blushing while taking out her clothes, telling her friend that they were not even together yet. But the girl started teasing her, telling her that she was really lucky to have found a wealthy and good-looking son-in-law for her family. But suddenly, the lady started feeling the two important melons of her friend, realizing that even she was no less. As the scene shifts to an hour later, we see that both Min and Shen were looking at various cars while a salesperson came behind them, asking them about which model they were interested in. But suddenly, as the lady turned around, the salesperson immediately recognized her, and Min told Shen that the man was her senior in high school named Quinn, and he had liked her and tried to propose her many times. Shen just said hello, and the salesman asked the lady about who the boy was. Shen introduced himself and got back to his car, browsing and looking at that. The man asked him about what model he was interested in. Shen casually told him that he just wanted to get some information, and the man thought that as the base model of the M9 was 500,000, and it was even more expensive with the taxes and fees, it comes to over 600,000, and a boy who dresses so ordinarily and have cheap clothes cannot have the money in his dreams to buy these expensive cars. But Shen was still having some guts, coming to the expensive showroom with a girl to show off. The salesman already knew that Min was really as beautiful as ever, and now that the salesman was a different man and was earning more than 10,000 a month, someone like him should be the top choice for her. The salesman thought that he deserved another shot at the lady, asking her if she was free tonight and if they should catch up. But Min already knew about how much of a creep the senior was and immediately denied, telling him that she had other plans tonight. Meanwhile, Shen also called out to the salesman, asking him to arrange a test drive, and this annoyed the man too much, because he was in the middle of planning his date with Min, and the boy was interrupting him. According to him, the people who cannot afford a car should not even have a test drive, as it was just a waste of time. The salesperson started making excuses, telling the boy that the test drive car was not available and it was not possible. But as Shen was not a car novice, he had already saw the test drive model at the entrance and demanded that if the man cannot arrange it, he should get someone who can. Sheng got to the reception asking the person to reassign him with another salesman because he wanted a test drive. And just then, Shen was called out by another beautiful voice and saw a beautiful female with a tall and slender body and gigantic proportions. She introduced herself as Chen, and she was the sales consultant asking Shen about how she can help him, but only one look at the lady was enough to send shivers down the spine of Shen, because he had never seen such a beauty before. As the scene shifts back to the office, another salesperson was asking Quinn about why he had let go of his client and let Chen take over. The man annoyingly told his friend that he was too lazy to handle it, so he decided that he will let Chen waste her time because a student who was looking really poor wanted to buy an M9 and even wants a test drive. The person started laughing, telling the salesman that maybe Shen was actually going to buy it, and he might regret later, but the man was not ready to believe in anything, because a broke guy bringing a pretty girl inside the luxury showroom just to show off was something that had already happened many times. On the other hand, Chen was showing everything to the boy, telling him that the model of the car was featuring an intelligent cockpit with fully autonomous driving. But Shen was looking at the features of the lady instead of the car, realizing that she was really professional and had a nice personality and her proportions were not bad in comparison to Min. But in the auto industry, he already knew that many female representatives were trying to make some naughty transactions with her clients just to hit their sales targets. Shen already knew about the cars, so Chen asked him about his budget range, but Shen ignored the question entirely, asking the lady if she had one of the models in stock, so that he can take one today. The girl was shocked because all her customers usually visit several times before deciding to buy the expensive models. But the customer in front of her drove the car and did not even ask about the price. Chen wondered about why Quinn had given her such a good client as she started checking her phone and realized that they did not have any stock at the store. But another branch has one that a customer returned due to financial issues. Chen informed Shen that if he wanted the car urgently, then they can transfer it to his name within a week. Shen decided to place his order the same day, and this shocked the lady even more, because a car that was costing over 600,000 was brought by a customer in just one day and in full down payment. She wondered if this is what they called an angel customer. She told Shen to take a seat and wait for a moment so that she can grab the papers. Until then, he needed to pay a deposit of 50,000 to get the contract. After the transaction was done, we come back to the office where Chen was going back to her seat. Meanwhile, Quinn wanted to know from her about the interest level of the boy in buying the car, because he was still being sarcastic, thinking that Chen had successfully wasted her time, but to everyone's surprise, Chen informed them that Shen had brought the car. The two salesmen in the staff room immediately dropped down on the ground, not able to believe that Shen had brought such an expensive car with a down payment. But Quinn got up, guessing that maybe Shen was just pretending, and when the time for real payment comes, he will find some excuse and disappear, because they are getting plenty of guys like that in the store. The other salesman also told the lady that he had sold cars for over a decade, but he had never seen someone buy it this quickly. But the lady calmly told everyone that Shen had already paid for the car in full, and there was no chance of him in getting away now after doing a full payment. Hearing that, the heart of Quinn sank, while he realized that he had lost such a huge deal and a lot of commission, resulting in a massive loss in his salary. As the scene shifts, we see that Chen handed over the papers to the boy while smiling at him, telling him that if he had any issues, he should feel free to contact the lady. Chen wanted to know if the boy needed a ride for going to one of the place, but hearing that, Min got jealous, telling the lady that they will grab a taxi by themselves. Chen immediately realized about what she was doing, and even when spending time with customers is important for professional relationships, She knew that she had just annoyed the girlfriend of a really wealthy customer. Min was having a flushed face as she started walking down silently, and even when Shen asked multiple questions to the lady, she was not answering. The boy realized that she was really getting jealous, and he just smiled, telling Min that he was just discussing business with Chen, and it was nothing else. But the lady pouted while turning around, telling Shen that he was looking so happy chatting with her and even scrolled through her social media for ages. The boy tried to change the subject, telling the lady that it was just an old habit of his, and every time he added someone, he always checked their posts. Min bluntly told Shen that he was not allowed to do so from the next time. On the other hand, Min was not able to understand about why she was getting so jealous when they were not even officially dating yet. The lady already knew that Shen was a wealthy boy, and money will attract a lot of beautiful women towards him, but she still needed to figure out a way to keep him tied to her, because now she was getting obsessed. Shen started smiling nervously, while telling the lady that he will not do it again the next time, and that they should go and eat first, and after that, they will go shopping at the luxurious showroom so that he can grab a gift for the lady. But deep inside, he knew that he was not going to change his habits, and that it was best to divert the attention of Min to something else. The lady was shocked, telling Shen that he had already brought her 2 bags before, and even when she was kind of looking forward to it, letting Shen to keep spending money like this was not feeling right. She thought that if she took more gifts, she would feel like a materialistic and greedy girl to Shen. But according to the boy, it was fine because for girls, having a few extra bags was completely normal, and as there are 7 days in a week, Min should at least have 7 of them, so that she will not have to repeat any in the week. But Shen was smiling even more, because he knew that spending money on girls earns him triple cash back. So ultimately, the more he brought, the more he saved. As the scene shifts to an expensive hotel, Shen asked Min if he wanted to have a cold drink or a hot drink. Min wondered if Chen was indirectly trying to figure it out, if it was that time of the month for the lady, and she just nervously told him that she would prefer a cold drink. Shen immediately held his words back, knowing that he had asked pretty intimate question without a prior thought, and he decided to let the misunderstanding escalate even more because it has been 2 months since he had fun with Ting, and he had been holding back so much since then, so he really needed to do something about it. As the scene shifts to 3 hours later, the lady was completely covered in money, with her watch costing 12,000 along with bracelet and handbags, which together costed around 80,000. The lady was not able to believe that Shen has treated her once again and had brought over 80,000 worth of things in one go. And that was nearly 140,000 in just 2 days. But Shen was happy after spending this much as he got a notification from the bank that his current balance was over 2.2 million. He knew that the cashback system was really broken because he had already made back 50,000 that he had gave to his dad for the deposit, and even after paying the remaining balance for the car, he still had over 1.6 million left to spend. But this was the time for him to strike, as he turned around, telling the lady that they should hang out tonight and she should not go back to her dorms. The lady had a naughty smile onto her face as she agreed, and half an hour later, we see that Shen was bathing inside the grand, rich hotel, and Min was just looking over her phone while she was fidgeting, telling her friend that she was not going to come back at the dorm. Min was just texting the girl, but before she can even think about anything else, Shen came behind her, wrapped in her towel, and asking her if she was ready. It was the time for them to have some fun, and the lady lied down onto the huge bed. Both Shen and Min covered themselves inside a blanket, and they did everything they can to enjoy themselves while having a lot of fun. Shen was making every penny he paid to the hotel worth it, and half an hour later, the first round was done, and he was just sleeping with the lady hugging her. But he never expected the female to be so freaky, and even when it felt amazing, it was also exhausting for him. He realized that he had not been exercising enough, and 2 months without any fun activity was already making him weak. But the lady was not satisfied, asking Shen if they should go for a second round. Shen wanted to have some rest first, but Min was not ready to let the small boy rest, telling Shen that she wanted to have everything right then and there. As the scene shifts to the next day, we see that Shen was back to his dorm room and saw that the system was providing him cash rebates for all debt repayment. He owed a total of 52,000 from several loan apps and credit cards, and he needed to pay off the debt first, and there was also a 100,000 debt from his childhood friend named Han, and he helped him when the family went bankrupt. In such a situation, when all his formal friends kept a distance from him, only Han was there to help his childhood friend without saying a word. But suddenly, one of the roommates came towards Shen, asking him about where he went yesterday and why he did not come to the dormitory last night. He wanted to know if Shen had seen the class group message, and if he will go to the class dinner tonight. The boy told Shen that Ping had also ordered a car to specially drive to the place so that he can flaunt his money in front of everyone, even when it was a third-handed, cheap-looking car. But Shen just smiled, telling the roommate that even when Peng tries to be cool and pretends like he's rich, he was not provoking anyone. But suddenly, another notification popped up, and it was from Han, who greeted Shen, asking him to come over to his club tonight so that they can eat and enjoy along with some relaxation on the way. Chen read the notification and told his friend that he was not going to the college meet, and a mission popped up, which told Shen that a perfect life not only requires the favor of the opposite sex, but also requires the support of a career. So he will have to spend on a business source obtained from any commercial activities, and amount spent will be doubled back. And as it was the limited time mission, the host will receive 1 million exclusive investment finance, and all 1 million must be invested within a week. Shen smiled, looking at a business-type mission, and as Shen was also thinking of investing his money for it to grow, he thought that it was a perfect opportunity, and Han was getting his bar renovated, so he can invest the money in it. Shen immediately texted his old friend and decided to go to the party. As the scene shifts, we come to the restaurant inside a private room, where we see that many people had joined the party, asking Han about who he was waiting for because they were almost starving to death. Multiple people were present there already, and one of them with the glasses named Hai told Han that as all the important people were already there, they should start the party. But Han immediately told them that there were fruit plates and snacks on the table, and if they were too hungry, they should eat them until Shen arrives at the bar. Hearing the name of the bankrupt Shen, all the people started distorting their faces, telling Han that they were not in the same circle anymore, and he should not have come. But as Han was the one who was giving the party and he was spending the money, he did not think that calling his childhood friend to the party was a problem. And even when the other people wanted to cut ties with him, Chen was a decent guy, and Han was not going to leave him. One of them was called Lin, who was sitting there with her girlfriend who was bickering with him because she was hungry. The man with the specs was also waiting for her girlfriend to come over, and wondered about why she was so late. A text message told him that she was struck in traffic and that it will take about 10 minutes. But Lin was not happy after looking at the man, because his family was very superior from the spectacle guy, but still, he was having a prettier and mature girlfriend. Lin thought that the middle-aged man just got lucky and found someone way out of his league. But suddenly, all the people looked at a door as Shen arrived onto the hotel, and Han asked him about why he was too late. Shan explained that there was a traffic jam on the road and the cab driver took a detour and went to the congested area. Han just smiled, telling him to report the unethical driver for being so late. But Lin was not able to stop his laugh, thinking that Shen was so poor that he took a cab service to come to the bar when everyone else have drove in their luxury cars. He decided to act like a sarcastic man, telling Shen that he was lucky that he had a driver even when he was bankrupt. But suddenly, the girlfriend of Hai arrived, and we come to know that it was none other than Chen, who apologized to everyone for being late because of the rush hour and traffic jam. The man felt a sudden and immediate surge of superiority because even when he was not doing that well against all the other friends, his girlfriend was the prettiest among them. He introduced her as a salesperson at a leading luxury car store. But deep inside, he was just laughing devilishly. But Chen immediately turned around and started looking at Shen, realizing that he was the one who picked up the car yesterday. And as the boy did not say hello, she decided to treat it as the first time they have met. The lady was looking beautiful as she started going towards her current boyfriend, and 40 minutes later, after the party was done, Han grabbed all of his friends' attention, telling them that he had a few things he wanted to say. Now that everyone has finished eating, Han wanted to improve the bar that they were sitting in, and for that, he asked everyone if they are willing to invest and make money together, because the estimated investment cost was 2.7 million, and Han was giving up 30% of the shares, which was an investment above 700,000. Han was a bit nervous, asking everyone about what they thought. As the girlfriend was just watching the show, Lin was getting annoyed because he knew that Han's family makes tens of millions in profit every year. But he invested and failed a few times, so his father stopped giving him money, and that's why he needed to do something by himself. Even the man with the glasses thought that he was not going to invest because he needed 2 years to save 700,000. One of them was a completely spoiled freeloader using all of his parents' money when he should earn, and he just wanted to eat without doing any investment. All the other people were completely silent, because they thought that if they would invest, their money would go in drain. Han finally saw the true face of his friends and realized that they were thinking that these people usually come to him for free food and drinks whenever they want, and they don't even hesitate to ask for his money. But today, when he needed a bit of support, everyone backed off, and he can't even say anything to Shen, because even when he can do it, his family was in trouble. And even in Shen's case, all of his friends acted as dead people, and Shen was indebted to many people due to it. Han was completely disappointed and asked his friends about why they were completely silent. Lin sarcastically told Han that if he was short on cash, then he should not invest, and instead of giving him money, they can all pool together tens of thousands to start something new, and he can have a share in that instead. Lin was thinking that he was going to start a business instead and make Han his subordinate, because he was completely jealous of someone who was doing better than him. Everyone else has known about Han's failed investments of 1 or 2 times, and his previous hot pot restaurant was also a mess, so no one wanted to give it to him. They thought that Han should raise money privately if he wanted and should not ask his friends, because it was a bad thing, as these rich brats always rely on their families for their pocket money. They were not even able to invest. But on the other hand, Han wanted to actually establish a separate business and did not want money from his family, who think he was useless. But now that these fake friends also think so, it was completely unnecessary. He always overestimated these so-called brothers of his, especially Lin, who was jealous of everyone who was doing better than him. Finally, Han put the glasses down and told them that as no one was willing to invest in the reconstruction, they should forget about it. And at that moment, Lin was the happiest of the group, thinking that Han had given up, telling him that all these talks about shareholding is boring, and they should eat and drink and continue spending money instead. Shen was not able to believe that Han asked them to invest, because he had already seen the faces of these people when his family went bankrupt. Shen did not even care about them anymore, but Han kept hoping that they were all good. But now he had a taste of reality too, that these people were all good-for-nothings who only rely on their family money to live a life of luxury without doing anything. Han was disappointed as he decided to leave first and let the friends enjoy. But Shen interrupted Han, telling the man that he was going to invest the other 700,000. Han turned around, and everyone else looked disgusted. Lin started laughing like a wild man, telling Shen to not make a joke because he was completely bankrupt. One of the others told Shen that he should go to the bath and have a proper time inside so that he can think before bragging. Hai also told him to know that he bit a piece which he cannot chew, and Lin was the leader of all of them, thinking of ridiculing Shen and telling him that he can invest in the taxi fare which he came in. Meanwhile, Chen was sitting on the other side, wondering about why everyone thought that Shen was bragging because he just ordered a 600,000 car yesterday, and for someone with such financial resources, it was normal to invest 700,000 even when she wanted to help Shen as an outsider. She thought that if she rashly intervened and speak for him, it will cause trouble between her and her boyfriend. But she still wanted to do something, wondering about what she should do. But Shen was completely ignoring everyone, already knowing that they would act like that, and he directly told Han to check his bank account and see if 700,000 has been transferred. Han was shocked as his hands were trembling in shock completely. Looking at his bank balance, which had shown a transaction of 700,000, Lin was still in a goofy mood, asking Han about what had happened and why he was trembling. But instead of saying anything, Han just flipped the phone onto the fake friend, telling him that this is what real friends do. Lin saw the bank notification and was not able to believe that Shen's transfer amount was having so many zeros in it. Chen started smiling because she was sensing that the direction of the wind has completely changed. The lady was looking beautiful while her curves were showing some elegance and modernity at the same time. Meanwhile, everyone wondered about why Lin was so frustrated and what was in the text message. But Lin did not answer anyone at all, telling Han that he had something to do at home, so he can't keep his company, so they should meet another day and talk later. Hai asked his cousin about what was going on, but Lin was clearly annoyed, asking the glasses to go to his uncle and aunt because they are looking for him. But the man was so oblivious that he told in front of everyone that there was no such call from them and both of them were free. Lin was clearly getting angry while he wondered about how Shen had the financial resources, and if he still had so much money, why he took a cab to the bar. The worthless freeloader kid wondered about why there was such a big contrast from beginning to end with Lin, and as he looked at the phone once again, he too told Han that he had something happened at home, and he will leave first. Everyone started going away after reading the message, because they thought that now Han would ask them about their investment too. Hai was not able to understand about why everyone was leaving. So suddenly, but Chen told the man that they should go too. And as soon as they got out, the man wondered about how Chen exactly knew about what had happened, when they did not even read the message, and what was in it. The lady explained to him that Shen had ordered an M9 from the store yesterday, paying it in full at first. The man thought that the lady was lying, but this made her even more angry, as she wondered about why she would lie to her own boyfriend, and as a matter of fact, she still had his car purchase contract with her. Realizing that the woman was angry, Hai immediately told her that he was not scolding her, telling her that since she knew about the rich young man, she should have told him right away. And it was poor management on her behalf, and she should do it properly next time. But Chen was furious, asking the man about what next time he was talking about, because she had just found out what kind of person he really was, and it was her fault for meeting him. Chen declared that they were breaking up, and that the man should never contact her again. On the other hand, inside the bar, both Han and Shen were drinking together while Han was laughing, telling his friend that if he knew that Shen was so rich, then he would not have organized the situation today, and a lot of money have been saved. But Shen told him that it was important for him to understand that none of those rich bastard lowlifes can be trusted, because even when they were okay for having fun, they won't be there when something serious happens. After everything was finished, Shen just smiled and asked Han about his idea of opening a bar, because even when he was only a shareholder, he will be involved in the planning of the future arrangements. Han started telling his friend about his plans, and in the next half an hour, both of them discussed the decoration style and operation status. We come to know that even when Shen was a rich and arrogant brat, he was still a really bright student, and he had fairly good insights about various businesses. After the whole planning was done, Shen told his friend that he did not have the time to go to the store every day, and it's even harder for Han himself, so they needed to find a store manager. The scene shifts to an hour later, where we see that Chen has contacted the boy, telling him that his car will come over on Friday and he should pay the balance. But Shen wanted to know from the lady if she was free the next day, because he had some questions about the car that he would like to ask her in person. On the other hand, Shen was walking down the road while thinking that even when Min was a cash cow, it was only for a limited time, because there is only so much she could want, and because Chen wanted a lot of money, he needed to expand his female friend circle and make full use of the system, and added to that, Chen had a first-class appearance and figure, and it was worth spending money on such a beauty. It was the next day, and we see that Chen was waiting for someone in a pretty expensive hotel. We come to know that she was waiting for Shen to arrive, but suddenly a bald man wanted to approach Chen, wondering about why she was wearing the store's uniform when she was sitting in an expensive restaurant. The baldy thought that as he never had a chance to flirt with the little cutie in the store, he should do it now because he finally had a chance. He turned towards his subordinates and told them that they should find a different place to eat by themselves because he had other things to do. We come to know that the old man was named Zheng and was the general manager of the luxury car store where Chen worked as a salesperson. His subordinate understood about what the bald man was going to do, and they left him alone in the restaurant. They wondered if Chen would agree to Zheng's request, but the employees know the lady too well and realize that she was not that kind. But rumors are everywhere, as one of them wondered about why the lady was eating in such an expensive restaurant alone. They thought that maybe Chen knew that Zheng was going to come, and that's why she made this plan. But we see that Hai was behind them and was listening to everything, wondering about why Chen wanted to meet someone else. The old man acted like he didn't see Chen before and asked her if she was eating alone and if she minded the manager joining in. Looking at the manager, Chen told him that she had an appointment with a friend and she was busy. But the manager was superior to the girl, and he thought of it as an opportunity, telling her that if they were going to have friends, they should eat together. Chen was as cold as she can be, telling the manager that he should keep his distance from her because he already had a happy married family, and Chen can report him for any misconduct. But the man immediately told Chen that it was easy to deal with, and he would just get a divorce. Meanwhile, Hai was looking for Chen everywhere, wondering about why Chen dumped him and went to hook up with another guy. He was not able to believe that Chen was looking down on someone with an annual salary of 500,000, wondering about what the hell was wrong with her. As soon as Hai spotted Chen, he was not able to believe that he lost to such a fat pig, and he immediately got inside the restaurant, causing a ruckus and asking Chen about why she was having an affair behind his back. The lady was not able to believe that her ex was so dumb, and the manager wondered about who the stranger was, but before he can ask anything else. Hai started fighting with the old man, and a huge male-dog fight erupted between those two, who does not even know how to fight, and the receptionist wondered about what she should do. Meanwhile, Shen entered the scene and wondered about what kind of popular scene from the drama it was. All the other people started making videos of the two fools, thinking of gaining subscribers and likes, just like me, so do subscribe, while Chen was walking out of the place. But as Shen analyzed the scene, he realized that it was good that he was late, because that's the reason why the old man was getting beaten instead of him. He looked at the chance and immediately grabbed the hands of the lady, telling her to ignore them and get out of the place. As the scene shifts, we see that Chen was getting driven by the lady towards the shop while she told him that both her and Hai have been dating for half a month, and it was only during that dinner at the night that she realized how bad of a character he really was. And fortunately, she broke up with him in the spot. Shen was happy for the lady, telling her that these kind of people are good when they are exposed before it's too late. But Shen was really worried, because the matter was still not over, and Hai had beaten her boss, and now she will have to deal with the repercussions. After listening to this, Shen straight up told the lady that the kind of boss she was working for was a scum, and she might as well find another job. But for Chen, it was not easy to find another job, and if she changed to another store, then she will have to start all over again, and all the customers she had accumulated over the years would have been wasted. Chen started drifting away in her thoughts, telling Shen that she was really tired of being in sales for a long time, and now she wanted to change her industry, and if it was up to her, she wanted to open a small coffee shop and live a peaceful life. But unfortunately, a shop like that would cost somewhere around 300,000 to 400,000, and she does not have enough money for it. Shen smiled, asking the lady about if she was serious and would do it if someone was willing to invest in it. Shen was really thinking it through, knowing that apart from Han's investment, he still had 300,000 to invest so that his money can be doubled. Chen thought that the boy was joking, telling him that if she got the money, then she will immediately quit her job and go work for them without hesitation. Just then, Shen's smile widened while he told the lady that she should resign tomorrow, and he will become the investor in her coffee shop on a condition that she was going to work for her from now on. Suddenly, the favorability points of the lady went up to above 60, and Shen was happy by looking at that, realizing that he is soon going to get a new cash cow. The lady thought that maybe Shen was really pulling a prank or something, but the boy told her that he was serious and wanted to know if the lady didn't want to work for him. He started explaining that after the coffee shop is opened, he will pay the lady 12,000 a month plus the dividends, and if she operated it for 3 consecutive months, then Shen was going to give her another car worth 200,000 yuan because her current car was a bit old, and it was time to replace it. The lady was not able to believe it, realizing that there was no performance pressure in the new job, and she will get a car for free after working only for 3 months, which makes her annual income exceed 300,000. The lady wondered if Shen was trying to trap the lady so that he can make a puppet out of her, but remembering that Chen has a girlfriend, she immediately denied, telling him that it was wrong, and even when the condition was very tempting, she did not want to be a canary in someone's cage, especially as a third party. But Shen removed all the other conditions too, telling the lady that he planned to open a chain of coffee shops and the first shop would be operated as a pilot project. And that meant that Shen and Chen were just having a boss-employee relationship. Hearing that, the lady started thinking even more and asked Shen for some time. Meanwhile, Min texted Shen, asking him if he was having some time free in the night, because she wanted to have a cold drink together. Shen immediately caught the signal and told her that he was coming. He immediately told Chen that he had something important to do and asked her for her reply on the offer as soon as she can. Shen got to the same old Grand Fortune Hotel where Min was waiting for him, hugging him and telling him that she had missed him. But suddenly, the lady noticed that Shen was smelling of another woman's perfume. The boy was shocked, wondering about how this would have happened, and this made Min act jealous, but Shen knew how to calm her down and immediately hugged her, telling her that she was the only one for him. He started explaining that maybe because he went for taking the car, the female perfume of the representative might have been stuck with him. Min were still acting angry, telling Shen that the next time he goes and meet other girls, he should tell her in advance, and also that he must keep his distance from the saleswoman. Shen agreed to all the conditions, but deep inside, he knew that all the girls were important for him to get rich once again, and for that, he cannot hang herself on a single tree. After all the drama was finished, Min told Shen that she was going to take a shower first, but Shen ordered the lady to wash later, and first let him enjoy. The boy grabbed the lady immediately and threw her onto the bed, slowly taking off the clothes while telling her that they were going to enjoy the whole night. Shen wasn't able to control his desires, while the lady also enjoyed the constant pleasure, and 2 hours later, the lady was still not satisfied. Shen wanted to take a shower first, but in reality, he realized that Min required way more stamina than Ting ever would, and even when she is satisfied, Shen was really getting weak. But suddenly, he noticed something different, and after the 2-hour-long exercise, Min's favorability meter had hit 90 points, and suddenly, a system notification popped up, telling Shen that as he had a female with favorability of above 90, he is going to get a 1 million lottery ticket, along with 1 million consumption credit card and a ruthless stamina ability. Shen was shocked, wondering about why the system was being so generous. But he did not care, because he would be able to pay off his family debts. But Shen was more curious about the ruthless stamina ability, wondering if it was really going to work like its name. Shen looked at the lady while thinking that now it was his turn to dominate. He immediately activated the ruthless stamina ability, and a golden aura appeared near his abs, and Chen was feeling the huge energy blast, which happened between his legs. The reward for reaching 90% favorability with Min was really great, and the system distributed rewards in a targeted manner, giving out whatever is needed whenever it was time. But he knew that there were many females who would actually have to reach 90% for Shen to get different rewards, and Teacher Li's favorability have also exceeded 60, but not 90. And even for Chen, he will have to proceed step by step before she can become someone with 90 points. Chen was excited, wondering about what reward will appear for him whenever another female will have 90 points of favorability. Meanwhile, he turned around and decided to not take a bath and test out his ability first. He called out to Min, telling her that they were going to have some more rounds, and this time, the lady was so shocked that she was shivering from head to toe, realizing that Shen was somewhat different from before and was having more power inside him. At the same time, we see that Chen was sleeping on her couch while talking to one of her friends, telling her that Shen had offered her 300,000 and was helping her in opening a store along with all the other perks. She wanted to know from the lady if Shen was having some kind of ulterior motives or if he was genuine. And at first, the girl also thought that maybe Chen had met a scammer. But it was not true, because she had met him multiple times and he had genuinely brought a really expensive car. The friend wanted to know about how old Chen was, and knowing that he was only 21 years old. The lady was completely shocked, realizing that Shen was a young man who was having a lot of money and is handsome. So according to her, Chen should grab this opportunity and let him support her. But the problem was that Chen was 5 years older than him and was finding it weird to date a younger guy, and he had also got a girlfriend. But according to the other lady, a girlfriend was not a married wife, and Shen was not committed at all. And besides, given the current situation, Chen was definitely a bombshell and can grab him away from the girl. Chen was disgusted by this suggestion, but the other lady just told her that if she did not want the boy for herself, then she should pass him on to her, so that she can enjoy a luxury life. After a lot of talk, Chen hung up the phone while wondering about what was Shen planning. The scene shifts to 40 minutes later, where we come back to the hotel room and Min told Shen that he felt really different this time. Shen asks the lady if he was stronger, and she, Blue Shen, realizing that it has more than 40 minutes, and they have been going at it nonstop. Shen wanted to know from the lady if she liked it, and if should do it even more. The lady was shocked, realizing that they can have even more pleasure, but this time, Shen wanted the lady to take the lead instead, and at first she denied. But Shen started talking in philosophical terms, telling her that she can learn by having enough practice, and both of them started going at it once again, this time in a pretty different situation. The scene shifts to the next day after Min returned to school because of her classes. But as Shen was not having classes this morning. He decided to sleep a little longer. But suddenly, he remembered that he had a lottery ticket with him and decided to check on the number as he finally scratched the ticket. He read all the 6 numbers and finally realized that he had got over a whopping 6.8 million now. He decided to reveal this good news to his parents immediately because they have struggled for too long after they went bankrupt. As the scene shifts, we come to Shen's house, where he entered hurriedly and screamed in happiness. The mother came running towards him, asking him about why he was yelling and disturbing the neighbors. But Shen was so happy that he immediately wanted to see his dad, telling his mom that he had something important to say. Shen's father wondered about what was so important, and at first he thought that maybe his son has gotten into trouble once again. But Shen just told him that he had got a great news for them. And finally, he revealed that he had won 6 million. Hearing that the parents thought that they were just getting pranked once again, and the female told him to not take too much stress about the money. His father wanted Shen to focus on studies while he will handle the family debts, but Shen showed them the mobile phone and the winning lottery number. And it was then that he really believed that they have won a whopping amount of 6.8 billion. They knew that even after a 20% tax deduction, they will still get over 5 billion. And with this money, they can pay off all their debts and also improve their living standards significantly. The mother was so happy from her son that she decided to write his name down into their family's book of great deeds, and for celebrating, they were not going to cook today, and instead going to a restaurant. But suddenly, Shen became serious and nervous at the same time, telling his dad that he was in the 3rd year of university, and as he is going to graduate in a year, so he was thinking of starting a small business to gain some experience. The man knew that business was tough, but it was still good that he had ambition, and young people should actually explore, and added to that, the prize money was all his, and he should decide how to use it. Shen told his father that they should use this money to pay off the debt, and he was going to take only 1 million out of it. Both the parents were happy and proud of their son, telling him to go ahead because he had the full support of both of his parents now. As the scene shifts, we come to the manager's office of the luxury car showroom, where he was scolding Chen for what Hai did to his face. But Chen was standing firm, telling him that she had broken up with a man already and had nothing to do with each other when they both started fighting. So if the manager was injured, then he should go and find Hai instead of harassing her. But the manager was not ready to leave Chen alone, telling her that if it was not for her, then he would not have gotten beaten up for no reason. Deep inside, the man knew that it was not her fault. But he still wanted to make her his own, and that's why he was just causing problems for her so that she would give in. But Chen was not ready to give up so easily, asking her boss about what the fight has to do with her. And besides, she went to the restaurant for her personal and business purposes, and the old man was the one who chose to sit there even when she denied again and again. The manager was getting frustrated, and a devilish expression appeared on his face, while he told a lady that as she had left her post yesterday afternoon and the showroom was left unattended, she will be suspended from the customer reception for the rest of the month. And now she will have to come back to the showroom when she would have thought the offer of the old man from yesterday through. Shen was really annoyed by the old brat, telling him that he cannot suspend the lady for taking an approved leave, but the manager just started laughing, telling the lady that he can do anything he wants with his subordinates because he was the general manager of the store and everything goes exactly as he says. Chen was now in a fix, while the manager was constantly laughing, thinking that suspending the lady from reception means that he was cutting all her commission, and if she only gets the base pay, she will be left with just $1,200 a month, which was not even enough for rent. But he was surely going to get a surprise because Chen just turned around, telling the manager that he was just acting all big and mighty because he was in a higher position, and due to that, the lady was going to quit the job and complain about him to the higher-ups too. Hearing that, the old man suddenly became nervous, because even in his wildest dreams, he never thought that Chen would actually leave the job. But now, she was so frustrated that she thought that Shen was way better than most of these perverted lowlife, and he was way calm and methodical. And even if she does not know what Shen was planning, she decided to work for him anyways, because he was a solid backup and does care about her. The manager was calling out to the lady again and again, but she told him that she was not going to reconsider joining any further, and it was her final decision to quit. Half an hour later, Shen got texted by Chen, and she told him that she was ready to work. Shen replied to the lady that he had some store locations in mind, and whenever she had some free time, she should come and see it along with him. For Shen, this was a win-win situation, as he got both Chen for him, and he will not have to look for another project to use the remaining 300,000 investment funds, because the deadline was approaching soon. We come to know that Shen was going to the college office of Teacher Lee, as she had called out to him for moving offices, because there was too much stuff and she cannot carry it all by herself. At first, the teacher thought that she was going to ask the class representative for her help instead, but she took a leave and no one else was left. Shen told the lady that she should not worry, because he had no classes this morning and was free anyways, so he was ready to help. He turned around and started looking at the books, asking the lady if they were going to be moved too. The teacher was sweating profusely while she told Shen that all the materials from the office were going to be moved to the new place. And even when she can manage books and files, the desk and filing cabinet were too heavy. The teacher tried to reach above the cabinets for grabbing the books, but she was not able to reach it. And just then, our boy lended a hand to the lady, deciding to help her in need. But just then, the boy started touching the lady at a pretty good spot by mistake, and only this much was enough for her to blush intensely, because Shen was even closer to her than the last time. The lady wondered if he was actually having feelings for her and was not joking around, and if her sister was right from the start.
The teacher blushed intensely, not able to understand about what she should do. She asked Shen if they are done, and the boy just calmly told her that it was finally done. Multiple students barged inside the office, telling the teacher that they are there to help. But they were not able to understand about why the teacher was blushing, and her face was so red. Shen said hello to the students, while telling them to hurry up and move the things along with the filing cabinet to the office next door. All the students agreed, while on the other hand, the teacher was relieved that the two students came a little late. Otherwise, if they were a bit early, then they would have seen such an embarrassing moment, and the teacher would have been embarrassed to death for her. Shen was getting bolder and bolder, and it was one thing at home. But now, he was messing around the lady in the office too. But the shocking thing was that the lady found it really exciting just now, and even when she knew that Shen was just her student, she does not comprehend about why it was happening to her. Meanwhile, Shen turned towards the teacher, wondering about why her favorability has just rose up to 71 points. He remembered about what had happened and wondered if the incident has increased the favorability. Shen knew that it was not his fault, and thought that it was the teacher's figure which was too perky, and if she was a woman with a flatter figure, the hip would not have reached. But even Shen would not have expected the teacher's favorability to go up and decided that he should visit her more often and build up onto their relationship for multiplying his money. The scene shifts to a Saturday, 800 meters south of the school gate, where we see Peng, who was taking multiple girls onto a hotel, as they were getting impressed by the fact that Pen had paid $280,000 in full for his car. The girls don't know that it was a third-hand cheap car, but still for them, Peng was driving a luxury car before even graduating, and by doing that, he had surpassed 99.99% of his classmates. Peng was not happy at all that Min was dating Shen instead, so he took this impulsive decision to take revenge on the girl. He knew that with his conditions, there were plenty of girls who were killed to be with him. The girls wondered about how good Peng's family was for him to buy such a car, because even after working for 3 to 5 years, a person might not be able to afford this car if he got normal wages. But as Peng was having his tea, he spat everything out while he saw Chen, who was wearing a beautiful black dress, clearly showing off her curves. Peng realized that the girl was gorgeous, and even her legs were amazing. Peng was ready to give up 10 years of his life to be with someone like her, and he wondered about who the hell was lucky enough to have such a goddess. But then, the two girls who came with Peng looked outside the window and saw a self-driving car which was looking really advanced. They asked Peng about the kind of car it was, and the boy replied that it was an M9, which was way above anyone's league in the school. But just then we see our boy who was coming out of the car, and this shocked Peng, along with the two girls who were not able to believe that it was Shen who was driving the M9. Peng wondered about how he was able to get the car when his family was bankrupt. But the boy was going to get even more unpleasant surprises, because as soon as Shen entered the cafe, the beautiful lady and the one-sided crush of Peng said hi to him and wanted him to sit onto the table with her. He was not able to believe that the beautiful girl was waiting for Shen instead. On the other hand, Chen told Chen that the boss lady of the cafe will be meeting them pretty soon, and the lady wanted the feedback from the boy about the car he had purchased. Shen just smiled while drinking from the same juice cup of the lady and telling her that the car was not bad at all. The girls were not ready to believe that Shen was rich once again, telling Peng that something seems off about him and the lady. Even the brat knew that Shen just broke up with their senior not long ago, but now he's already hooked up with a beauty from outside the school. But as the scene shifts, we see another beautiful lady who came in, and we come to know that she was the coffee shop owner named Lin Yu. She apologized to both Chen and Shen for being late, because she was picking up her child earlier, and she immediately shook the hands of our boy, complimenting him that he was looking really young for doing businesses. Shen counterjected, telling Yu that they were both about the same age in their 20s. As the lady sat down, she started explaining while keeping it short that her shop's business is average. But since it was near the school, there's a decent flow of customers. But the thing was that her family's situation was complicated, and she was too busy taking care of a child. So she had no choice but to transfer the shop, and the transfer price was $300,000. Even when Shen had $300,000 in investment funds, he also had to pay the transfer fee and keep $50,000 as the startup capital and Chen's first month's salary. He decided to not haggle with the lady anymore and put the final price of $250,000, with the final say of taking it or leaving it, even when Shen was offering slightly lower than the lady had expected. But she knew that if she does not sell the cafe now, she might not find someone so straightforward later, so she decided to accept it anyways. She wanted to know from Shen if they can sign the agreement and pay transfer fee on the same day. And Shen got even a step ahead, telling the lady that if they sign the contract right now, he will transfer the $250,000 to the lady immediately. Yu called out to Xiao, a worker on the cafe, while telling her that Shen was her new boss from now on, so she should show him around later. Xiao came to the table and was bowing down to her new boss, but Shen told the worker that she should show the place to Chen instead, because Shen would not be coming to the store that often. But from now on, Chen would be in charge of everything instead. The scene shifts back to the ladies again, where we see that they were getting shocked by the fact that Shen just finalized a $250,000 business deal in minutes, and that too so casually. But as every second passed, Peng was feeling more and more inferior, not able to even bear sitting on the cafe which was owned by Shen now. But suddenly, Chen noticed that Lin's phone was ringing, and she read the name on the phone, while the lady immediately picked it up, telling the couple that she needed to take the call as it was urgent. Shockingly, we came to know that the owner was the wife of that crappy middle-aged boss who tried to hit on Chen and was beaten by her ex. With the glasses at the restaurant, Shen was shocked, wondering about how someone can cheat. After having such a beautiful wife at home, and yet the crappy boss still abused his power to exploit female employee, which was clearly disgusting. Chen was nervous while telling Shen that she had records of her boss harassing and threatening her, and she was planning to expose him after she got her paycheck, so that the whole car industry would see his true colors. But now that she knew about his wife, she asked Shen if they should tell the lady because she was a good person, and Chen did not want to hurt her. But the boy just calmly told the lady that it was not a good idea at all, because once the chat records go public, the annoying boss would know exactly who leaked them. And as he was a middle-aged man in his 40s, he will still have a wife and child to support, even when he loses his job. And in revenge, he might do something which is uncomprehendable by both of them. Shen proposed another deal with Chen, telling her that he will handle the situation. He promised the lady that he will make sure that the boss will take a serious fall without affecting both Lin and Chen altogether. The lady was really impressed by this gesture of our boy, thanking him again and again. But suddenly the boy told her that she had transferred $250,000 to the owner, along with $50,000 onto Chen's account, which included $24,000 as her salary for the past 2 months, and the rest is the startup capital for the shop. The system notification popped up, as it was detected that Shen had fully invested the 1 million exclusive investment fund, and completing the initial investment task have gave him a level up from novice to beginner. The system told him that a perfect life should have more diverse industries, so the host was going to receive 10 million in exclusive investment funds to continue expanding investments, and by doing that, Shen would get 2 rewards. The first one was that all investment earnings will receive a triple cashback bonus, and the second one was that completing the investment will grant a mysterious industry. Shen did not expect the system to give him another surprise, because the exclusive investment fund has increased tenfold, and now he wondered about what the mysterious industry was, and where he can now invest the 10 billion to get profits. Shen's train of thoughts was stopped as Lin called out to him, telling him that she had received the payment, and finally, she was looking forward to working with him. The lady was going to take her leave and decided to see the boy again sometime, and as Shen was shaking her hands, he realized that the lady's hand was really soft and delicate, with just the right amount of firmness. Shen wondered if this was the charm of a married woman. He immediately started imagining doing some real manhandling stuff with the lady while shaking her hands, telling her that they were definitely going to meet once again. Half an hour have passed after the deal was done, and both Shen and Chen were sitting on an expensive restaurant. And the lady realized that the place was really expensive, wondering if the boy came to the place often. Shen replied that it was not true, but as this day was a good one, he wanted to celebrate their successful partnership. Shen knew that Chen was someone that any normal man would not be able to resist, so he casually asked the lady to sit next to him. Even when Chen tried to maintain some distance, Shen grabbed the hips of the lady and pulled her towards him. Shen thought that as the cafe had costed him 300,000 and he needed to pay 12,000 in monthly wages, he should start collecting some interest. Even Chen knew that there was no such thing as love or generosity without reason. The lady wondered if Shen really thought that the cafe will make any money for him, because the previous owner had said herself that just breaking even would be a success at first, and if the cafe does not make any money, then Chen was the only one who can offer something to the boy, and she had nothing else than her beautiful body. The boy started grabbing the back of the lady, but she immediately interjected, telling the boy that the server of the food was coming in, so they should stop it. But Shen was not ready to stop, telling the lady that the food inside the restaurant takes a while to arrive. Shen started enjoying the company of the lady while she blushed intently. And they did enjoy together for 10 minutes, until the receptionist announced that Shen's food was ready. Chen immediately backed off, thinking that someone was coming, but she did not know that they required Chen's permission to get in. As the boy ordered the receptionist to come in, they put the plate on the table and left, and Shen started picking up a piece of meat, giving it to Chen, telling her that it was the restaurant's signature dish, and they should try it. As the lady was looking at our boy, she realized that he was actually pretty handsome, but still, his only flaw was that he was kind of a scumbag because he already had such a beautiful girl by his side, and yet he still fools around like this without any thoughts. But for Chen, it was too late for regrets. Now, as she had already boarded the sinking ship. Nothing happened for 40 minutes as they only enjoyed the food and talked together, and as they got out of the restaurant room, the receptionist told him that the total was above 2,600. But for Shen, even when he had spent 2,600, the system was going to give him triple cash back, which means that he earned 5,300 instead, and making money was just so easy. But on the other hand, Shen was not able to believe that the food costed them more than 2,000, because this amount was the commission the lady got for selling a high-class car. But for rich people, spending 2,000 was like the lady spending 20. After the payment was done, they started walking outside, and Chen told Shen that she wanted to go to the cafe and check in with the worker, because she will be starting work there tomorrow and wanted to familiarize herself as soon as possible. But Shen disagreed, telling the lady that it is already 8:30 in the night, and the worker gets off at 9 o'clock. So if the lady got now and delayed the worker, she will hate her new boss for no reason, so she should just rest up and go tomorrow. The lady agreed to the boy, telling him that if it was possible, she wanted a drive back home. The boy immediately agreed, while the lady thanked him for the expensive treat, telling him that she will give him a work report after her shift on the next day. As they finally drove to the lady's house, she started going away, but Shen immediately stopped the lady, telling her that he was a little thirsty, so he wanted to come up to the room and have some water at first. Chen denied, telling Shen that it was not a good idea because for her, it was moving too fast. And what happened in the private room earlier was already her limit. But Shen sarcastically asked the lady if there was another man at her place. This shocked Chen to the core, while she told Chen that she had already broke up with the glasses man. And hearing that, Shen wondered about what the problem was, because he was just coming for a drink, and there was nothing so inconvenient about that. The lady asked the boy for one more time if he was really coming up for the water and nothing else. And Shen immediately replied that unless the lady wanted him to stay the night, he was only wanting some water for quenching his thirst. Hearing that, Chen told Shen to just keep dreaming. But as soon as they got up inside the lady's house, Shen wanted to get inside the lady too. The lady was not able to believe that Shen lied to her and wanted to have only some water, but Shen informed the lady that he was not the kind she was thinking of. They started having some real fun, while the scene shifts to the outside of the apartment where the lady lived. We see that it was Hai, the glasses guy who was the ex of Chen. He had already checked her previous office, but as he was not able to find the lady there, he thought that maybe she had left the job due to him, and for that, he wanted to beg for forgiveness, even if it was just as friends because he was sure that he can win her back once again after some time. He had a bouquet full of flowers, but he was shocked to see that the apartment lights were not on, thinking that she is probably not home. But still, he decided to leave the flowers by her door, and as red roses symbolize eternal love and unwavering devotion, she will come to know that they are definitely from her ex. But the man was definitely going to get a surprise as soon as he got near the door, because he was able to hear the cute and exciting voices of the lady as she enjoyed the raid. The man completely misunderstood, thinking that maybe Chen chose the fat, middle-aged, married man over the spectacle guy, and he started slamming the door like a maniac, wanting Chen to get out of the house and face him. But inside the room, Shen realized that it was none other than the glasses, and as they had already broke up, Shen was really getting annoyed, wondering if he is really brain damaged for getting involved into a girl's matter who had already broken up with him. Chen was enjoying everything while thinking that she had heard something outside, but the boy immediately denied, telling her that they were just the neighbors, who were knocking the other apartment doors. As they were doing everything in the kitchen, Shen wanted them to move to the bedroom so that they would not be disturbed. And as the boy started taking the lady onto the bedroom, the flowers of the other side of the door got scattered, because the ex realized that his girl was being manhandled by someone else. The scene shifts to an hour later, where we see that the couple was still going on. And Chen was finding it amazing, but still, it was really exhausting for her. Hearing that, the boy made the lady change the position, while telling her that she would not be feeling so tired when they do it like this. Shen thanked the system's ruthless stamina ability because, due to it, his energy was endless, and he does not need to stop no matter what. He was not able to believe that someone as outgoing as Chen would actually be so conservative in private. But it was making everything even better for the boy. They enjoyed for a few more hours and then slept onto the same bed. It was the next morning, and Shen opened his eyes as he smelled something really good. He realized that it was the smell of toast and fried eggs, and as soon as the boy opened his eyes, he saw the beautiful lady in a kitchen apron while she was cooking some delicious breakfast. He realized that Chen was a really thoughtful lady, and this was completely different from being with Min at a hotel. Chen was smiling while cooking for her partner, while Shen realized that this kind of warmth can only be felt at home, and hearing the word, the system suddenly activated, telling the boy that the perfect life means owning their own home, and to create a better living space for themselves and their women. It was a limited-time mission, which wanted Shen to purchase a property of at least 100 square meters for Chen within 24 hours, and the rewards for completing the mission was double cashback on the property's purchase price, along with a mystery property that will be awarded upon purchase, and the mission reward, one can also be stacked with base cashback bonuses, which meant that the multiplier of money was 5 times higher. Shen immediately got up from the bed, smiling, not able to believe that even when he was just thinking about it, the system had already lined it up, and knowing how generous the system actually was. Shen knew that the mystery property was going to be amazing with a lot of space, and maybe a good swimming pool, too, where both the ladies should enjoy their place. Shen thought that maybe it was a luxury villa, where he could throw pool parties now and then. The boy realized that he needed to find and develop more high-quality women, and then these surprises will only keep on increasing. Suddenly, Chen noticed that the boy was up asking him about why he was waking up so early because the breakfast was still going to take time to get ready. But Shen was just smiling, wondering about what reward he will get when affection level reached 90 points. He started flirting with the lady first thing in the morning, asking her if breakfast was the only thing which was on the menu. He started grabbing the beautiful curves of the lady while she was surprised, because even after doing so many rounds last night, the boys still wanted even more in broad daylight. But the boy ignored everything, telling the lady to focus on the breakfast and just cook food while he ate his food away. All the flirty lines made the lady drop the spatula on the ground. But suddenly, as the lady was enjoying everything, Shen asked her if she was free in the morning, because he wanted to buy a house for her. This shocked the lady to the core while she wondered about what nonsense the boy was spouting. The lady was not able to believe that Shen was going to buy her a house after already spending $300,000 on running the cafe. Even when the city they live in was not a first-tier city, a house will still cost at least over $1 million. And besides, Chen had already offered her body to the boy, and now there is nothing left that she can give him in return. So it was even more shocking for the lady as she wondered about what the boy wanted from her. As she was not saying anything, Shen kissed her while asking if she does not want it. But the lady immediately started speaking that it was just too sudden and it's too expensive. No matter how rich the boy is, she thought that money does not just come blowing in. But it was exactly as the lady had thought, because for Chen, the money was really coming in as blowing wind. He knew that the money in his account that can be used for buying a house exceeds 3.5 million, and if he spent it all, then, according to the 5 times cashback, his savings would instantly exceed 17 million. He wanted the lady to not worry about saving money for him at all and hugged her immediately, wondering about what was wrong with buying a house for her own woman. The lady started crying as Shen told her to pick the house, which was over 120 square meters, and then they should buy it. As he saw that the lady was still crying, he sarcastically told her that last night they have made so much noise that all the neighbors, along with the 2 apartments next block, would have heard her. And this would not be a problem when they have their own home and not have to rent anything. The lady smiled, while telling Sean that it was all his fault, but the boy replied that even when he had played his part, the lady was shouting really loudly, and it was not a bad thing at all. But suddenly, the lady immediately remembered something, and no, it was not the burning breakfast, but instead she forgot that she had set an appointment with her 2 best friends who wanted to check up on the cafe. She had set up an appointment at 10:30 and asked Shen if they should go and see a house after that. But as the boy only had the time limit of 24 hours, he told the lady that buying a house was not like buying groceries, and they will have to choose the right one and handle paperwork. Only an afternoon might not be enough to finish everything, so they should set aside plenty of time and set the appointment for later. As the lady agreed, the scene shifts to a car where 2 ladies were sitting, not able to believe that the appointment was canceled by their friend just when they have reached the cafe. The 2 ladies were shocked, and one of them was Chen's best friend and a gold medal fitness coach named Meng. The other friend thought that maybe the cafe deal was all a hoax and Chen was just bluffing, because according to her, no man is that gullible that he will spend 300,000 on her for nothing. But on the other hand, Meng knew that Chen was not the type to show off and wanted the other girl to ask her about the reason for her absence. For years, Meng had not met a young, handsome, and wealthy man, and she was not able to believe that Chen hooked up with one, so now he was ready to steal him from her. But suddenly, as they were informed that the guy was taking her to buy a house, both of them were startled, and Meng immediately pushed the brake in shock, because it was not like handbags or cosmetic that you buy on a whim. It was a complete house, and even a 40-square-meter apartment would cost 500 to 600,000, and with the cafe on top of that, it would add up on the spending. She was not able to believe that Chen had got a guy who was willing to spend over 800 to 900,000 on her after meeting her for just half a month. Meng knew that she definitely needed to meet this guy, and even if Chen was with him, a man like Chen surely is not exclusive. And according to Meng, whenever it came to winning a man's favor, she had got way more talent than Chen himself. We come to know that the other lady was named Quan, and Meng told Quan to ask Chen about the housing development they are checking out so that they can go and take a look at the rich kid, too, because after all, they have got nothing better to do, and more people helping her choose is better than her picking the house alone. But this was not the actual reason, and we all know this. Quan still agreed and got the location of the housing development, and 40 minutes later, they come to the Sun Real Estate Group. Meng immediately realized that even the smallest unit in the development costs over 1 million at this real estate property, and a house that comes with keeping a mistress was now free. She wondered about when such outrageous wealth will ever fall into her lap instead. Quan immediately noticed Chen and started waving her hands, signaling their arrival, and all 3 of them finally had a reunion. But Kwan was not interested in her friend at all, asking her about the handsome guy who was standing next to her, wanting to know him and get introduced. Chen introduced our boy to both the ladies, and we come to know that Kwan was the sales representative from Farala Enterprises, which was a car dealer company. As soon as the boy got introduced, Meng knew that she'll have to walk over him, calling him a bit skinny, telling him that maybe he should come and work out at their gym to build some muscle when he had enough time. But deep inside, she was not able to believe that Chen had got someone who is only about 25, but was still rich, young, and handsome, and it was really pissing her off. Even after this flirt, Shen replied smartly, telling the lady that he would not be able to concentrate on the workout if he worked out at the ladies' gym due to all the females. Meng started looking at Chen, realizing that as Chen was not getting jealous with the flirts between the boy and her, both of them probably aren't really a couple right now. But still, Meng noticed the swollen skin onto the lady's knees, which told her immediately that they had extreme fun last night. Chen was really pleased with her partner, and this is why Shen must have brought her to buy a house. Meanwhile, Kwan was also not going to give up, inviting Shen to their car showroom if he ever decided to change cars. Shen agreed, but he was shocked to see that even when they have met for less than 5 minutes, the two women were already showing interest in him without any shame. The boy wondered if the two ladies were really the best friends of Chen when they wanted to steal her partner so easily. But for Shen, the situation was really advantageous because every additional woman with an affection rating above 60 is like another money tree. The three beautiful ladies started following Shen as they came to the real estate main building, while a middle-aged man wondered about what Shen wanted to show off while buying a house with 3 exquisite beauties in tow. The scene shifts to the main office where Shen meet up with the receptionist who told the boy that they had building number 3 and 9 available with an average price of around 15,000 per square meter. The lady asked if Shen wanted to take a look at the model layout first, but as Shen was in a hurry, he decided to tell the receptionist that he had a budget of $3 million, so she should just recommend him the unit types and floors that fit the budget. As the receptionist saw that the boy was really an amazingly rich kid, she called out to him to the consultation room so that she can give him a more professional recommendation. Hearing the amount being spoken about so casually, Meng wondered about what level of tycoon the boy actually was, who casually drops $3 million for a house which was not even his. Meng realized that for a big spender like the boy, she must have to grab his coattails for getting rich herself. After looking through the catalog for some time, the receptionist advised 165 square meter unit facing north-south, telling the boy that the total discounted price comes to approximately $3 million. Chen whispered near the ears of the boy that the property was too expensive, but the boy placed his hand on the beautiful legs of the lady, telling her that it was all right, and she does not have to worry about saving money, because a bigger house is much more comfortable to live in. Both Meng and Kwan, on the other hand, were really getting jealous of their so-called best friend, because even when she wanted to save money for the boy, Shen insisted on giving his woman the very best, which made the girls think that he was a really loyal and legendary sugar daddy, which was really too good to be true, and it was impossible to find such a man, even if they are holding a lantern. Shen realized that the girls were evaluating him, thinking that he will still have to haggle. Or else, the ladies will think that he was really a fool, and then it would be a real problem. He started flirting a little with the receptionist, telling her that he really wanted a bit more discount, because he knew that he had some room to negotiate even further. After thinking a little, the receptionist wanted to know from Shen if they were going to buy the whole property on the same day. And if this was so, then she was immediately ready to apply for an even larger discount. Hearing that, the man was happy, telling the lady that he does not want any other discounts. But instead, he wanted to have 2 parking spaces instead of just 1, and the price should come out to be about the same. Realizing the rich potential that Shen had, Meng immediately started doing some naughty things with her hair, thinking that she must savor the boy while he was still hot. As Shen noticed this behavior, he wondered about what Meng was up to, and the lady slowly started dropping her black dress, which made Shen lose his mind. While he realized that Meng was packing some serious heat inside the dress, he knew that if he could really get on with her, the thrill would be unimaginable. But still, Shen had to focus on the deal and get the house at a cheaper price, and it was not the time for him to get distracted by some pleasures. Half an hour later, all the discounts were finally being calculated, and the total amount for the house, along with 2 parking spaces, came to $2.98 million. The lady gave the boy the contract, telling him to sign, while Chen was still not able to believe that she had a full-blown house which costed so much. On the other hand, both the so-called best friends were getting jealous by the fact that Shen casually brought a $3 million luxury house for Chen. And the key part in all this was that he only put Chen's name on the contract. Meng wondered about when this kind of God-tier blessing will ever land on her instead. But instead of getting fully robbed of his balance, Shen got a notification from his bank that he got a deposit of $15 million. And his current balance was over $15.3 billion. Shen immediately realized that even when they were a rich family, his father did not have this much saving, and the system had even crossed his dad now. He was thanking Chen because if it weren't for her triggering the mission, then he would not have suddenly become a multimillionaire. For him, developing more female NPCs is the real way to go. But suddenly, Shen was going to get even more happy because the system congratulated him for receiving a green city villa, which was the second reward for completing the mission. The system told the boy to collect it at the sales office on the next day at 9 o'clock in the morning. Shen realized that it was a luxury villa, and it was one of the top 10 supermansions in Star City, which was really amazing. Meanwhile, the real estate agent was getting really impressed by the fact that even when the market was not doing well right now, Mr. Shen can pay in full to buy a house for his woman, and it's clear that they were not even married, or maybe not even a couple. The lady wished that even she could latch on to someone like this. But then she got back to work, giving Shen her phone and telling him, "That the contract has been signed." So she was going to handle the other paperwork with Chen. But still, the lady wanted Chen to add her onto the socials, so that if Shen ever had any future property needs, he can contact her without any worries. The boy immediately agreed after looking at the lady's favor points. But for Meng, it was really a nightmare, because someone was trying to snatch the piece of her cake instead. The lady got up with lightning speed and started screaming at Shen, telling him that she was planning to buy a small apartment soon, and whenever the time comes, she also needed some experienced guidance from the boy himself. And added to that, the lady told him that if the boy ever had any health needs, he can contact Meng as well. After the purchase was finished, Shen told Chen that he had other things to do in the afternoon, so he would not be able to join the ladies, and decided to leave the 3 best friends for continuing their reunion, and whether they wanted to go for a meal or to the cafe was up to them. Chen was really happy, while she let Shen go and do his work. But for Meng, it was really shocking, because the boy was just leaving without even staying for a meal. She thought that maybe her body was not good enough to please the boy, and it was not making sense to her. But Chen called out to the fake friends, telling them that they will have to find a place to eat first, and then they can go to the cafe together and have a tour. Quan was really jealous while putting up a fake smile, telling Chen that she will have to treat them on the day because now she was worth $3 million. Meng did not even want to smile, but was somehow able to do it with an obvious fake look. Half an hour later, we see that Shen was back at school while he saw Teacher Lee, who was eating in the cafeteria alone, which was surprising for the boy. Even when Lee was eating alone, she was not getting free time due to the constant calls, while she told the person on the other side of the call that she will prepare the materials for the work in a bit, and the report should be ready by the next day. She talked to the person about the University of Science and Technology, agriculture, business schools to have a lower base. The person on the other side of the phone was trying to hit on the lady, while she was constantly denying telling the man that she really had something going on. We come to know that the person was none other than the school secretary, who was trying to hit on the lady, but she denied and cut the call. And knowing that the lady was finally free, Shen asked his teacher about what was wrong. She started explaining that the school was setting up a university entrepreneurship base, and she was a part of the team, and they were discussing about it on the phone. The school was planning to support students with entrepreneurial ideas by providing funding, venues, and business guidance. But they have run into some difficulties, and the funds were not enough, so they needed to collaborate with external enterprises. Sean wondered about the conditions that the school can offer to the companies. But the only thing that the school can do is supply them with enough talents, and they sign contracts with the companies and send them high-quality graduates on a regular basis. But according to Shen, it was really a weak selling point, because their school's graduates cannot compete with those from top-tier universities. Teacher Lee slammed her fist onto the table, knowing that Shen was exactly right. But she knew that if companies don't get what they want, they are naturally declining to invest onto the project. But the lady was even more frustrated by another fact that even when she was just an university lecturer, the secretary still wants her to drink with business executives to secure funding. And it was not just some mere drinking and may involve something bad. Seeing how troubled the teacher looked to him, Shen wanted to invest in the program by himself, but he still needed to consider profitability. For any of such kind of project to make money, the student success rate needs to reach at least 33%. But Shen's school probably doesn't even hit 20%. Shen was just proposing the idea of the investment, but before he could speak even further, the teacher wanted to know if the boy was interested. Shen immediately replied that even when he had money, he was not that interested in the project. The lady smiled, telling Shen that even when the thought was good, the project hasn't been taken off yet, and it was going to be tough. But suddenly, the system notification popped up once again, telling the boy that a perfect life was not just about accumulating wealth, but it also requires enough prestige to make an impact on society. And since Chen was a university student, influence must expand from within the university. His mission was to gain prestige by investing in a campus project. And he will get rewarded for every 500 prestige points, granting a lottery chance with potential attribute boosts and even special abilities. Shen was shocked to see that even this conversation has triggered a mission, and he decided to invest in the school project now because the investment funds were given by the system. And now, he does not need to worry about profitability and just needed to gain prestige. Added to that, he will be helping the teacher solve an urgent problem, which would be advantageous in the long run. Shen realized a massive business opportunity and thought that if he decides who gets the funding and how much, it would be perfect to invest in the pretty senior and junior girls who were opening businesses. And by that, he will gain a lot of prestige points and increase his favorability among all the females. Shen asked the teacher about if an individual or company wants to invest, who will be the one to evaluate the students receiving the investment. Is it the investor or the school itself? Shen knew that he needed to confirm this thought before he invested his money, and the teacher explained that even when in theory the school should do the evaluations, they were not in the current situation to do so, and as they were not able to attract investors, there's a lot of room for negotiation. But the teacher wondered about why Shen was suddenly this interested, and hearing that, Shen just told the teacher that he wanted to invest, but he still had one condition. He wanted to evaluate the students himself. But before listening to the condition, the teacher wanted Shen to stop joking, because he had gone bankrupt and had even applied for some financial aid. Now, Shen was deciding to not hide showing his bank balance to the teacher, telling her to count the zeros. The lady was shocked to know that the boy had over 15 million in his bank, and when she asked the boy about how he got so much money, Shen just explained that he traded some electronic coins and foreign exchange stocks, and this had earned him a lot of money. This was unreal for her because her student was now actually a multi-millionaire. But suddenly, Shen shocked her even more, asking her about why she was not coming with the boy instead. And if this had ever happened, they can travel the world together, and the boy can make sure that the teacher will live a life full of luxury and bliss. Even when the lady told Shen to stop talking nonsense. She was really flustered, wondering about why she was getting offered all this all of a sudden. She wondered if Shen was really sure to invest in the project, because from what she knew, university entrepreneurship bases rarely turn a profit. The lady suggested Shen to think it over carefully, because this amount was not something trivial. Shen told the lady with a smile that he had already considered it, and his main goal is to contribute to his school's development. The lady realized that Shen was serious and wondered if he was serious when he wanted the lady to be with him too. Only thinking about that was making the lady have some bad and naughty thoughts. She was somehow able to control herself, thinking that Shen was just her student. To Shen's surprise, she got up and started running away from the table while telling the boy that she will talk to the secretary about this later. Shen was smiling while he told the lady once again to consider his offer of her luxurious life, and the scene shifts to 4 o'clock in the evening, and we see that Chen had made a delicious coffee for our boy, posing in a cosplay outfit as a maid, offering coffee to her master. She wanted Shen to come to the coffee shop and try it when he was free. But the boy was now flirting with the lady, telling her that the coffee was not up to the mark, and she needed some proper training at the night as punishment. Meanwhile, the boy thought that even when the coffee might taste bad, but the outfit worn by the lady was really tempting. As the scene shifts, we have a look at another lady who was Shen's classmate from international trade named Kong. We come to know that Kong was having a crush on our boy, and her friend was trying to tell her that Shen was not a rich second-generation kid anymore, but instead, he's just a broke guy. The friend wondered about why. Kong was thinking about him every day when he probably has to work part-time just to save for his tuition. But just then, another one of Kong's friends came running, while telling the first one that she was also chatting and going on date with Huang, who was from Shen's dorm. Hearing that name, the girl was furious, telling her friend that even when she had rejected him so many times, he was not giving up, so she wanted to have just a free dinner at a good restaurant by his money. She started continuing to insult Shen, telling Kong that if she was with Huang, she gets a free meal. But if Kong is being stuck with Shen, she will just end up paying for everything by herself. So now the lady wanted Kong to think it through about if she really wanted to live with Shen, who was nothing but a poor loser. But suddenly, the other girl stopped the first one, telling her to keep it down because Shen was coming straight towards them. Looking at him, the lady thought that the boy was probably going to a part-time job, and as it was just past 3:00 p.m. This was the perfect time for restaurant's prep work. The other friend wanted Kong to ask Shen about the place he was working at so that they can have a bit of fun. But Kong was not really supporting this idea, telling the girls that it was really inappropriate, and as they were classmates, there's no need to make fun of the others. But the first girl was really getting cocky, asking Shen if he had been busy with part-time job, telling him that she wanted to come to the place and see about where he was working in the name of supporting him. But Shen immediately realized that the girl was looking down on him and decided that since Huang was the one chasing after the other girl, he would not bother arguing with her. But as he needed to vent a little, the first lady who was getting cocky seemed fun to him, so he decided to play along and told everyone that he was working part-time at a cafe nearby, asking the ladies if they wanted to come, so that he can offer some delicious coffee to them. All three of them agreed, and as the scene shifts, we come to the coffee shop, where both Chen and Meng were waiting for their boss to arrive. As soon as the girls entered the cafe, the first lady was not able to believe that such beautiful ladies existed with long legs and nice figure. They wondered if the girls were even real, because they were looking straight out of a manga. Even Kong knew from just one glance that the two girls standing beside the counter were seriously gorgeous and elegant, while the cocky lady realized that the other one had an insane body with a big chest, tiny waist, perky hips, which was almost non-existent in real life. Both Chen and Meng bowed towards the boy, welcoming him playfully. And Meng was not at all happy, looking at the boy and telling him that if he had something important to do, he should do just that and not roam around with his female classmates. Shen started explaining to the ladies that the girls wanted to grab a cup of coffee after getting off the verb. Both Chen and Meng looked at the girls and said hello, while Xiao came in and Shen told the worker to ask the three beauties about what they would like and to not give them the bill, as the bill was going to be paid by the boy himself. The worker immediately agreed and addressed Shen as the boss, and hearing that, all the three ladies become nervous, wondering about what it was. Meanwhile, the worker told them to have a seat and browse the catalog, and then let her know when they have made their choice. The girls were not able to believe that Shen was the boss of the place, and the cocky lady was now really getting frustrated by the fact that Shen was not just some worker in the cafe, but the owner instead. Kong wanted the lady to not feel even more humiliated, so she immediately told her that they should just skip on the coffee. Just after hearing that, the lady started smiling while turning around, telling them that they should do the coffee treat some other day because she did not want to drink anymore. She was not able to believe that Shen was actually fully loaded with money and even owned a cafe while having such gorgeous women around him. Yet he told them that he was just doing the side job, and now, the lady was completely humiliated way more than she had ever been in his whole life. Looking at that, Meng wondered about why the female classmates have just left. But Shen just smiled with hands in his pocket, telling the lady that maybe they got intimidated by the two gorgeous enchantresses, who were naturally more beautiful than them. Hearing that, Meng started acting naughty once again, telling Shen to not get any funny ideas and better behave himself. As the scene shifts, we see that both Meng and Shen were sitting on the table, while Chen came outside with the coffee in her beautiful hands, offering it to Chen while telling him that as she was not sure about how sweet he liked the coffee, she made it half sugar. Just then, Shen delivered a cheesy line and told the lady that if the coffee was made by her hands, then it is full sugar no matter what. Meng immediately started laughing, wondering about what era it was and who even uses this cheesy pickup lines to impress the girls. But whenever a rich and handsome guy says them, they do hit differently. Meng was getting some naughty ideas while she looked at both Shen and Chen flirting around. She started forming a conversation first, asking the boy about what his height and weight was for calculating his body mass index. Shen told Meng that he was 182 centimeters with a weight of 72 kilograms, but he had probably lost a little bit recently. The lady wondered about why this had happened, and Shen just playfully looked at Chen, telling her friend that he did too much exertion in a few days. Chen was blushing intensely, while wondering about why Shen would say that in front of her best friend. But even Meng realized what Shen meant by those words, looking at him from bottom to top, and telling him that he should really train even more, as his body fat percentage was a bit low, and he needed to put on at least 7 to 10 kgs of muscle. Shen realized that Meng was trying to convince the boy to sign up at her gym, and hearing that, the lady started laughing, telling the boy that she got a hit, her sales target by the end of the month. But she will still not let the boy down, no matter what. Shen was getting annoyed by all those promotions and stopped the lady by telling her that he'll think about it. And as the female looked at her phone once again, she realized that it was already past 4, and now she will have to go because she had got a personal training class at 5. They decided to catch up next time, and the lady turned towards Shen, winking at him and going away. Shen just passed a smile while thinking that Meng was just a little vixen who was getting too bold in front of him. The boy decided to tame her sooner or later, while he immediately got up, grabbing the hands of Chen and telling her that they needed to go to the second floor for some personal training too. At first, the lady wondered about what training she was going to receive. But as Shen pulled her out once again, the lady realized the kind of training they had to do, because her skills could use some extra teachings and punishments. Chen whispered onto the ear of the boy that the worker was still around, and they should not do anything there. But it only makes the boy go faster as he started enjoying and savoring the moment with a kiss. But as they ran onto the second floor, Xiao was able to hear everything, wondering about what was going on, and as she heard the cute but naughty voices of the female owner, she immediately put up the closed board for no disturbance. But suddenly, Meng came running towards the shop, banging at the door and telling the worker to open it, because she had left her bag inside. The lady was hesitant and was not ready to open the door for the female. But Meng wondered about what was taking the worker so long to do it, and it was about time that even she heard the naughty noises, while Chen called out to Shen, telling him to go a little gentler because it was too much to handle. Meng was not able to believe that even when it was broad daylight, they were doing it non-stop and with such strength. The lady decided to not go and hear about how long Shen can maintain his stamina. Even after 10 more minutes, the lady was surprised that even when the boy looked so lean, he had got so much strength, and this was making the girl really warm up in different places, while she realized that Shen was someone with a lot of potential. She screamed at the worker so that both the lady and the boy can listen, while telling her that she was heading out. Chen was completely embarrassed, realizing that her best friend had walked in on the scene. But Shen was getting happy instead, thinking that a proper training session needs an audience. But as Meng was listening in for at least 10 minutes, Shen realized that a premium show like this should not be free, and he had got to charge the lady the next time with something. As the scene shifts, we come to the secretary office of the school, where the secretary was shocked that Shen, who is a student of the school, wants to invest in the startup incubator. Teacher Li was standing with a serious pose, agreeing to the secretary. But the man was skeptical, asking the lady if the boy even had the funds, and if she had verified his assets. The lady explained that even when she did not believe it at first either, she checked his bank account and he has 10 million inside. The man was still not ready to leave her, trying to annoy the lady a little more, asking her if the money was not from his parents, or if Shen had full control over it. Teacher Li annoyingly informed the man that Shen can indeed use it freely, and if this was the case, the man was getting happy, because he did not need to collaborate with any kind of third party anymore. He ordered the lady to call Shen to his office, because he wanted to hear his proposal directly. But this was a bit too much, because even when Shen was a student, he was going to be an investor this time, and they should treat him a bit more respectfully. But the man thought that as Shen was a student from his school, he cannot let him get too full of himself, and he needs to be put in his place. The scene shifts back to the room once again, where Shen was busy, but he stopped at the moment for a little as he saw that it was a call from Professor Li. He wondered about what the matter was, and as the lady explained everything, Shen started smiling, realizing that the school's attitude towards the investor was not right. And as they were trying to control him, Shen decided to do the complete opposite and wanted the teacher to put him on speaker, so that he can have a word with the secretary himself. The lady did just that, and Shen told the secretary that he was quite busy lately with several investment projects to evaluate, so they should set up a meeting when Shen had time instead. And if the man wanted to contact the boy before that, then Professor Li will give the boy's number to him. Even when the secretary wanted the boy to wait, it did not work at all, and Shen hung up the phone. The teacher was even more impressed, realizing that Shen had got a lot of guts for hanging up on the face of the school secretary. The old man was really flustered, not able to believe that a student has hung up on him when every student council member shows respect and greets him with utmost carefulness. He was not able to believe that Shen was this arrogant when he had just a bit more money. But he was in a really bad situation, and the project was really urgent, and if he does not do something about it, he will be the one who will be held accountable for the failure of the project. The secretary decided to drink his pride and told the teacher that since Shen had the capacity to invest, they should invite him out for a meal. Finally, the lady texted Shen about the offer and he read it while still being inside Chen. He smiled, realizing that the negotiation balance was in his favor right now, and he decided to gain full control over the investment, so he decided to not reply instantly. The lady realized that Shen was having a lot of work to do, so she offered that Shen should go ahead and take care of his businesses, and that they can have dinner another time. Shen was happy that Chen was really taking care of him in every way, signifying that she was really a good woman. But suddenly, the boy got a call from Min, while she wondered about what the boy was doing and if he had the time to go for a walk on the track. Shen sarcastically told the lady that he thought that she was inviting him for a cold drink, but she explained that she can't, because of the time of the month. Shen realized that it was no wonder that Min had not come to see him these past couple of days. Shen started acting all cool while grabbing his pants, telling Min that her health was more important, and for that, he was going to come and pick her up downstairs at the dorm. As the scene shifts, we see that the girl hugged the boy immediately as she saw him. Shen told her to be careful over the next few days and take care of herself. The lady kissed the boy onto his cheeks, asking him about what kind of relationship they had now. Min knew that she will have to ask this question today because they have done everything a couple could do, and now all she wanted was a proper title. Shen knew that this was a dangerous question for him, but the lady's affection was going up in numbers once again, and the boy realized that the lady really liked him. Shen announced that they were definitely boyfriend and girlfriend, and this made the girl really happy. But she was not ready to believe it completely, asking Shen if she was her only girlfriend. The boy smiled devilishly while saying yes to the lady, thinking that the other women were not his girlfriends, but instead they were sweeties, bobbies, babes, and darlings. On the other hand, Min was really happy, telling Shen that as he was being a good boy, she was going to give a proper reward to him in a couple of days. But Shen stopped, asking the lady if she was free this weekend because he wanted to buy a car or a house for her. The lady was not ready to take such an expensive gift, telling Shen that a bag of makeup or something trivial was already great. But Shen explained that there was no need for him to save money. But since they were still in school every day, they won't really need a car, and instead the girl should get a house first, and whenever she needed a car later, Shen would buy it in full. The lady agreed to the decision, and Shen told her that, as it was getting late, they should go back to their dorms and make sure that the girl rests properly. Shen realized that he needed to go to the lake to take possession of the mystery property that he had got as a gift. As the scene shifts to the next day, we see that Shen was on a video call with the fitness instructor, who was telling him to come and hit the gym when he was free. Shen sarcastically told the lady after looking at her dress that it was not appropriate at all. But the lady started flirting with the boy once again, telling him that only naughty men think that the dress is inappropriate, and Shen was just having dirty thoughts and nothing else. Meanwhile, from the tonality of the voice, Mang realized that Shen was not treating her like an outsider, and now she only wanted to see about how much longer he can hold out. But suddenly we see the gold digger Ting, who called out to the coach, asking her about why she was smiling so happily, so early in the morning. Meng told Ting that she was just chatting with a friend, and something funny came up. But Ting was enjoying the gossip, wanting to know even more. Meng started telling the girl about her own ex-boyfriend, and how he had brought a $3 million apartment for not even a confirmed date. Ting realized that the man the instructor was talking about must be worth over tens of millions, and even Meng was getting so envious about it. At first, Ting thought that with that kind of wealth, the man must be really old. But the lady was such a gold digger that she thought that if she got someone like that, she would be ready to sleep with him and get all the money. Pardik was shocked even more when Meng told her that the man was in his early 20s, younger than even her friend. Ting was not able to believe at anything, thinking that the boy must be ugly. But the girl told her that he is handsome and tall altogether. Ting realized that Meng's friend was a real beauty to catch a guy like that. And hearing that, Meng told Ting that they were about the same in the figures, but they had different strengths. But suddenly, as they were talking, Meng got a text message from Shen which told her that Shen was going to take the possession of a house near the lake property, and Meng did not leave any opportunity to go there, wanting to go with him. Shen informed her that he was going alone, but if the lady was free, then she should join him. Hearing that, Meng immediately got flustered, telling Chen to come and pick her up because she was at the gym right now. The lady sent her location to the boy and started waiting, while Ting noticed that her coach was happier than earlier. The coach apologized to the lady, telling her that they needed to skip their session of the day. She promised to refund Ting's personal training fee at double the rate because the man she had just mentioned had asked her out, and now she was going with him. Hearing that the boy was buying another house, Ting too realized the potential that he had. But suddenly she realized something and wondered about why Meng was going with the partner of her friend when she should be the one to go instead. Ting started smiling as she realized the whole situation, calling out the coach as ruthless, because she was stealing her best friend's man. But honestly, Ting was not going to hesitate stealing the guy either, if she knew who he was. As Meng was going away, another instructor at the gym approached her, but he was completely ignored by the lady. It was 10 minutes later, and both Ting and the male instructor looked at the lady and the M9, not able to believe that driving such a cheap car can get the fitness coach. But Ting informed the man to not be fooled by the car, because the boy inside had brought his girlfriend a 300,000 house without even blinking. The man realized that even he cannot earn this much after working for many years. But suddenly, as the boy was getting outside the car, Ting was shocked, wondering if the guy looks kind of familiar. And finally, it was revealed to her that the rich playboy was none other than Shen himself, and that all rich and handsome guy that the coach was talking about was her ex, who was now a multi-billionaire, and Ting was the dumb girl who had just dumped him 2 weeks ago, erasing her chances of approaching him.